Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you. We here, Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast, episode 37. We got pretty much our regular crew here, minus Emiya, who's at New York Comic Con right now. I'm joined by my man Pancheezy, Pharaoh Black, Rick Dom, Colonel Cracker should be here in a second, and we jumping right into this. This is New York Comic Con 2016 weekend. We got quite a few things to talk about.
Oh yeah, we'll send over that itinerary. Actually, I'm over here fucking around.
Yeah. So yeah, real quick, couple things I got. I guess everything that I got this week was from Comic-Con. No, I got one thing from Japan. I got two of the Django Fett figures, which I didn't even open yet. Pharaoh, you open that?
Yeah.
How you like it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a wrong motherfucker to ask anyway, because you don't even really like Star Wars shit. You just be buying it.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, but I still understand figures, though, man. I mean, it was a good figure, though, man. I mean, it's weird, dog. It's like the ab crunch and shit. Like it's not an actual ab crunch. It's like if you had to pull the waist up and you can lean it forward or whatever. But
okay,
because of that, it's kind of like it's kind of wobbly and shit.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, man. The legs are funny too, man. You got to kind of pull them down and then twist them in order for them to go forward and shit.
Yeah, I guess that's sort of the DBZ, some of the older DBZ figures.
Yeah, with the drop leg for more movement.
Here go the thing. When you take one of those wrist gauntlets, a detachable piece, you can add that other piece onto it or whatever. But once you pop that shit off, I know on mine at least, it's loose. It doesn't sit back in there the way it's supposed to. Keep falling out and shit. I don't know, man.
Yeah, like when it was put together in the factory, you know, the paint made it stay in, and then once you took it off, it's like it wobbles. Yeah. Ain't that shit?
I ordered two. I got two of them, man. I'm gonna send one out to Chris Guthrie.
Yeah, I ordered two as well. I don't know what I'm doing. I think actually one of them was supposed to be for a contest for us, so I got to figure that out. And I also got the Super Saiyan Vegeta on their new mold from SH Figure Arts. I didn't open that yet. I saw Darius's review, so that looks pretty good. And I got the turtle set, the shredder joint. I didn't open that either. I saw one picture. I didn't see nobody review that yet, though. Is there any reviews up?
I didn't see any.
Yeah, I haven't seen any either. Just a lot of pictures.
And I also got the Raphael, which was Vegeta was on early release, and so was Raphael. I just opened the Raphael today, and it's nice, man. It's actually, I thought these figures looked goofy as fuck the first however many times I saw them when they started showing them at Toy Fair and SDCC and whatever. Like, I still think they look a little goofy, but they are true to the cartoon as far as the look. But they're fucking nice figures, though. Like, I didn't realize that it had all this like die cast and like it's a heavy figure, man. It's got die cast in the legs and what have you, so you'll have no problem standing them up. The joints are really, really tight. It's a good figure. I'm liking the Raphael a lot right now. So
yeah, I remember at Comic-Con when they were setting them up. I remember I told you that Brian set up their Broly and stuff like that, and I was looking at the turtle. Like, damn, like they explained before it had a lot of die cast because it's like a dual line crossover. But when you actually have it in hand and you feel the weight, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's not a cheaply made figure. It's not a cheaply made figure, so it is. I guess it's worth the price as far as what you get, as far as the accessories and the quality and everything like that. I was able to get Leonardo and Donatello for free. That's why I went and bought Raphael. So I was
I might as well at that point.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck it. I actually didn't get Leonardo and Donatello yet. They should be here probably Tuesday, I guess. Tomorrow's a holiday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess Tuesday. And I'm okay with this figure so far. I'm gonna fuck around with the weapons and probably get some shots of Raphael by himself or whatever. But that's it.
That Shredder,
Like,
I'm sure you saw it on display.
Yeah,
That
I saw the shredder on display. That shit looked pretty good.
yeah,
I
it's
hope
fucking crazy.
you know what it is. I feel like I be wanting the villains more than anything with most shit anyway. So like if they do Shredder and they continue on and they do Rocksteady and Bebop and Krang, I'll be fucking happy with that. But somebody had mentioned Casey Jones. I don't know if they're gonna really take it that far. You know how these import companies be with
Yeah,
expanding on certain things. So
that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, it would be sick to do though. Like if they did, I'd buy like 3 Casey Jones, but
yeah,
I don't know if they will.
that would be dope. But yeah, that was all I got.
that
This past week.
articulation of them turtles look crazy though.
Huh?
As a leg articulation on those turtles don't look. I don't know. It look like that shell in the front kind of stops it from going forward.
Yeah, it's not. You're not gonna get any Bruce Lee type poses, but you could get the leg up. You could get him in some nice kicks, side kicks, and yeah, you could get the leg up there though. It's not terrible. But yeah, that's all I got. What you got, Pharaoh?
Um, I had Darius. He grabbed me the shredder, the NECA set. I just sent him the money for the Shadowland Daredevil.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
you
guess
think you're gonna get it?
I don't know. I just went ahead and spent the 20. I mean, you know how it is, man. There's some other shit going on right now, so
Yeah, the
I went ahead and
Medco booth
so,
was popping, man. They was making a lot of fucking sales, man. Oh, let me say this real quick before you before you finish. But yo, the fucking NECA booth was on some ghetto shit, man. I don't know what the fuck they had going on over there. It was
So we say
only
NECA?
NECA, yeah. They was only accepting cash for one. You couldn't use a card at all the whole
Really?
entire weekend. They didn't have a fucking bag that was even big enough for the fucking box. You had a little ass plastic bag. You ain't get no receipt, no nothing.
Man, they about that tax evasion,
It
bro.
was like I was buying a fucking brick of dope or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
You were. It just had the turtle stuff printed on the outside.
Basically. So, NECA, y'all on some ghetto shit over there at the time. But yeah, go
It's
ahead.
weird that they
My
didn't take.
bad.
I think they said when they put up the shredder set for pre-order that it would be cash only at the booth.
Yeah, they was only accepting cash. So you could imagine how that cash drawer was looking at the end of the
that's
fucking
some
night.
that's some dumb shit in 2016 to tell them all fuck all you gonna just spend is cash. That's retarded.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. It's 2016. We should have credit card booths with chip readers everywhere.
no question
Oh,
about
well,
it.
I mean, at this point,
Hey, to be honest with you, I mean, you make fun of it, but to be honest with you, if you got major purchases going on, and in 2016, you know damn well most people have a bank card.
well,
A bank account, so you should be ready for that.
at any, no offense to these guys at cons, but at any real convention, man, all these people got the Square on their phones, man.
Right. Yeah.
That is not that's nothing. That's nothing to the companies to have those kind of squares. And I know owners of a lot of these big booths, and they're the cheapest motherfuckers alive, and they still have that square because they don't
Yo,
want to lose out on that money.
PayPal offers a little like
Yeah, PayPal too.
thing
PayPal has a
that
little square too.
you can
Yeah.
put it on your fucking phone and you can
Yeah.
swipe. You know what I'm
If,
saying?
if,
Like
if you're
they-
I got
If you're a high
Samsung Pay.
if
and
you're a
Apple
high volume
Pay.
seller, if you're a high volume seller, I think they even give you that little PayPal square for free.
yeah, for free. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I got 2 of them shit.
Yeah, it's not even nothing. Crazy.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's kind of
But
nuts.
I did. What else did I get, man? Like I said, I got the Django Fets. I got the fucking What else came in that box? I got some import figure, man. I don't even know who the hell he is, man. I just ordered because he had like some regular clothes and shit, so I ordered him or whatever. What else did I get, man? Quickly, I got the Kaneko Man figures. I got Robin Mask and what the fuck is the other one? I don't know. I forget the other one's name. Robin Mask. Oh, Ward. What else did I get?
When does Big the Budo come out? Because that thing is crazy sick.
That already came out.
Oh, you already have Big the Budo. That thing is nice.
I got the Mafex armored Batman figure. That thing is, I like that. I mean, it could have been a little bigger, but I think that it's a really nice figure, man. I like that figure a lot. What else did I get? I don't know. I don't think I got anything out of the store. I don't think it was too much. Oh, I finally got the the package Boog sent me on that cheap ass partial select round post bullshit. I finally got those figures and shit. And, damn, I know. Oh, Darius sent me some other shit too, though. Darius sent me some models and some. I think I got it last week. I ain't sure, man. The Scarlet Witch. I mean, not Scarlet Witch. The Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, and some other shit.
Oh yeah, how is she in person?
I mean, the figure. I like the figure. I think that that paint they use on the chest right here, man, it's kind of funny because it doesn't match the actual tone of her face and neck. But I mean, articulation wise, I didn't have a problem with the figure.
Is that it for you, Pharaoh?
Yep.
All right. Well, if this were like 2 hours ago, I would say that I have a really, really small haul. But I just went to True a little bit ago, and they had fucking everything that was just recently released from NECA. So I picked up fucking everything. But moving backwards, I also got the TMNT set, but that was pre-ordered, so that should be arriving, I don't know, sometime this week. I got my shipping notice on Thursday.
Did you buy more than one of those?
No, just one.
You know what? I saw what's the cat's name that put a picture up? Probably the only picture in the group. He obviously bought 2 sets though, and I'm like, you know what? That would have actually made more sense to get 2 so you can have more foot soldiers and shit.
Right, and then you just sell off your extra shredder. I thought about it, but you know,
Look at that.
I was actually going to send somebody money to pick me up a second set, but I decided, you know what? Let's just keep it.
Well, honestly, the NECA, the turtle set was like one of the easiest things to buy at the con. Like it was, and it's probably because it was only accepting cash. They never had a fucking line, and it was going the whole entire weekend up until Saturday night. They still had plenty of sets left. So,
did you go this morning?
No, I didn't go in the con today, so I don't know what it was looking like today.
Okay.
You said you didn't open doors, right?
Yeah, I didn't open it yet. Wow, what happened?
No, I'm just saying. I'm looking at the picture, whatever. And those skirts are like they kind of hindered those foot soldiers up quite a bit.
Yeah, it looked like they was having a hard time bending forward. Word.
So that's kind of like so I thought about ordering another set from Darius, grabbing one or whatever. Then I said, man, I might as well just wait for my AI figures and shit, and kind of try to put those in there somehow or some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck with the turtles.
And then Boog, I'm still waiting for you to send me Kirk. That's the last thing
I sent it. It actually should be there, I guess, maybe tomorrow. I mean, Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever.
All right, cool. Yeah, because those are like the 2 things I'm like waiting for in the mail. Everything else I picked up this week was in person. I got the Defining Moments John Cena in his Word Life attire when he's facing Booker T in the Best of 5 series for the U.S. Championship. Fucking great. That was when Cena had his Marky Mark gimmick, so he's got the fucking visor and everything. You can put it on him upside down. It's hilarious. And then I went to Universal Studios with my girlfriend yesterday after my improv show, and they have a comic shop there called Things from Another World that usually has like, they're kind of overpriced a lot of the time because, you know, it's like on a park, but they have a lot of stuff on clearance too that sometimes they just can't sell off. Like I think maybe a year ago, 2 years ago now, I found 7 gorilla soldiers from NECA for like $15 each. So that's how I built this big ass army so quickly. And then yesterday,
they had cases. I went to that store not that long ago, and they had cases on cases of the X-Men wave like a month before it started hitting retail. That store, that store, whenever you want a new wave that's out, they have like fucking 15 cases. They got so many cases of them. They didn't have Deadpool though. They didn't have Deadpool though, and the girl that was working there was trying to sell me her Deadpool.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh man, this shit is rare. I know you want this one." And I was like, "No, man. I already have 3 Deadpool. I don't need this, homie." And she was all kind of sour.
Well, I was actually disappointed because usually they have a lot more NECA stuff. They only had like a lot of the quarter scale stuff today, but the few things they did have were actually on clearance. So I got another Sarah Connor for $16. Pretty solid.
Oh, wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I'm actually going to customize her to look like the Pescadero Hospital. I've got some legs I'm trying to Dremel out and get her to fit onto right now. That was what I picked up, you know, up until about an hour ago. An hour ago, I went to fucking Toys R Us, and they had the Aliens Genocide Concept 2-pack, which is the repainted Big Chap and Dog Alien and like the Genocide Red. Looks cool. I haven't opened any of this stuff yet. I probably will while you guys are talking, and I'll just mute my mic. And then I also got Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master Surgeon Freddy, which is pretty cool. It's the retro style. And what I like about it is that it comes with the sweater too. So if you were to open it and like you don't want Freddy in his surgeon outfit, you can put him in his regular sweater too. So there you go. And then I got the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors Freddy, which is the ultimate one. And, you know, it's got the chest of souls that you can unplug from his regular chest and pop it in, kind of like the T-1000. He's got
That head sculpt is awful.
What's that?
I said the head sculpt on that figure is awful.
It looks all right. I mean, I think the paint is just kind of globbed on comparing it to, like, my other Freddies. Looks a little more thick. But I'm pretty happy with it. I looked through a whole case, and they all look pretty decent. You know, he comes with the head with, like, the light piping on it with the cross, so you can put some light through there. Bunch of little props and stuff. 2 alternate hands. Not bad. And then I got the Evil Dead 2 Ultimate Ash. A lot of stuff as well. You know, it's an Ultimate figure. It comes with a lot of shit. You can basically pull off 2 looks with this one, the Dead-Eyed Ash and like the regular Ash. And then I got the entire first series of Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is apparently like... What's that?
I said that's what else I got.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I didn't know this actually until I saw them at Comic-Con in person, and then I was reminded when I saw them again today. The fucking... Ash is skin tone plastic, like on the face, which is incredible. That's like my favorite fucking thing. Is not painted plastic, but like the good flesh tone. Looks great. I looked through a whole case of all these. I mean, if you look at my Instagram story right now, you'll see that I had the guy pull out everything from the back, and he's coming in with the cart with like this pissed off look on his face, like fuck, I gotta get it for this guy. But he brought out pretty much everything I was looking for, except for the AVP 2-pack and the Part 3 Ultimate Jason. But besides those 2 things, I'm like basically caught up on everything new from NECA for the season. So I'm pretty pumped about that to just knock them out in one go.
How many of the demon did they have for?
He's 2 per case.
Cause see, when I went and grabbed, I got both Ashes, but they didn't have any of the fucking demons.
Oh yeah, he's the short pack one. There's 3 of each Ash and then 1 or 2 of each demon.
Okay, yeah.
So you got the 3. There's 2 versions of Ash. There's the Value Stop Ash, which doesn't come with as many accessories. He just has like the red shirt and like the little doll that gets possessed, and then he has an alternate screaming head, so you can like put the little doll on his face, so it looks like she's biting his nose, like in the show. And then the hero Ash, he's called, with the blue shirt and the chainsaw hand. He comes with like the alternate like robot hand. They both come with 2 head sculpts, which is cool. So Bruce Campbell was like, yeah, just sculpt my face as many different ways as you want, many different emotions. So we get that. And then the demon is the short pack one, but he's pretty cool. Doesn't come with any accessories, but you know, he's neat looking. Elagos, Demon of the Mind. Shout out to Michael Amsberg, who just did the sickest photo with these figures. He did like the Elagos coming out of the portal and stuff. I'm going to find it and screen share it real quick, because that deserves a hell of a shout out. And other than that, that is my week. That is all I've picked up. I made a couple customs. I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram, but I made a gray and black Michael Keaton Batman. Just like, I don't know, I wanted like a more comic-y Batman from NECA to go with my Predators, so that I kind of made him look like the Dead End movie.
Everybody's Instagram is in the description if you watching this and you want to follow anybody, by the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can actually see Instagram stories from there too. So let me find Michael's picture and screen share while Pancho shares what he got this week.
Oh, okay.
A whole bunch of
Besides
fucking
Hurricane, of
win.
course.
That's
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pancho got the biggest come up of the week. He got a whole hurricane.
Yeah, I got to keep my life. That's the biggest come
you
up.
got a tree front lawn. That's exciting.
Yeah, I guess to address that, Hurricane Matt. I live in Charleston, so Hurricane Matthew was like right on my ass the entire weekend. So that was great. Luckily, in my area, my specific apartment complex is probably the highest above sea level in my town. So like, I avoided a lot of the flooding and stuff. But even like a block over, like people's cars were like swept into like the side ditches and stuff like that. And damn, it's rough, man. And like the mall that's in like the northern part of Charleston was like flooded like 3 or 4 feet. Like there's like a video that's going around like all the local Facebook groups of like the storm surge coming out of like the rivers and the swamps, and like this rushing water all over the parking lot and shit of like the mall, and like Toys R Us is right across the street. So like everybody's focused on the mall, and I was like, what is going on with Toys R Us though? Luckily I went there today and it was fine. But yeah, we pretty everybody stayed in Charleston, but like based on the tropical storm we had last year, we were thinking about staying. My girl, she insisted that we would be okay. So I was like, all right, fine, put my faith in you. And we were good. So so we just basically just fucked around all weekend. Nothing to do. We got like 4 days off of work of it. GameStop was closed like for since last Wednesday and it's still closed. So and that's wild because GameStop never closes. We closed for like Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And then we just started closing on Thanksgiving. Oh, that's great. So that was surreal not to be at work. But
yeah, a lot of stores are following that closing on Thanksgiving now. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, it's very interesting because like I think, I mean, obviously the corporate message is like spend time with your families and stuff like that. But real talk, like the last 2 or 3 years I've worked at GameStop during Thanksgiving Day, like nobody came in at all. And I think
my fucking nobody goes to any of my stores. I've been going to stores for Black Friday, GameStop, Target. Nobody fucking is in there ever.
Yeah, nobody goes.
Nobody fucking goes.
It's strange. It's just it's people that always come. It's like the same people every year. They come in. They're all like, "Hey, do you have a sale on this game that just came out 3 weeks ago?" No. Why would I? All right, fine. I'll just wait till next Black Friday. Like I don't know what's going on.
That person should invest in a PC because then you get Steam sales, tons of discounts year round.
But yeah, like I've been on. I think I've been off the podcast for like 2 weeks, so I've gotten a couple of things over. I got the new Legends Wolverine. I finally found that locally, so I picked that up. I had like leftover gift cards at like Toys R Us, so I was like at Toys R Us and I picked them up just because I had those extra gift cards. I also picked up the NECA Nathan Drake, which is really great. I really like this figure. It's pretty dope.
Somebody say NECA?
Yeah, I said NECA.
Oh, great.
I picked up him. I think he's really cool. I haven't got a chance to do much with him. Mostly because I was at AWA for last weekend. I was at AWA, which is Anime Weekend Atlanta, which is a really great con in Atlanta, Georgia. It's super great. It's like my go-to con. I've been going there for like I think 4 years now in a row, 4 or 5 years now in a row. But that was like the first con I went to like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that convention is like it's commonly referred to as like the East Coast / South version of this con that's over here on the West Coast called Fanime, because it's pretty much like a really relaxing con. There's like a rave like every fucking night. They're very, very similar, these two cons, and I heard it was really fun this year.
Yeah, it's a super chill con. I mean, I covered it for A.C.B.A. Like, if it weren't for the hurricane, these videos would already be out. But like, I was busy guarding my life, so I didn't really want to work on my computer. So that's coming out soon. All those videos are coming out soon. In terms of like AWA, I always tell everybody that like AWA is like, if you're on the East Coast and like in the Georgia, South Carolina, even North Carolina, and like Alabama and Florida area, like that is the perfect starter con for you to go to. It's like, it's still a big con, but it's not so big to the point where you're just miserable trying to get everywhere. And it's still small enough to the point where you can run into people and like make, like form like real friendships and stuff like that. Like I've become friends with people I've met there my first year, and like we still talk and stuff like that. So it's really great. So it's a great con. The dealer's room is awesome because they attract like big people, and they also attract like smaller dudes that are just trying to move product. Like, a quick segue from that, like in terms of the stuff I picked up at AWA, I picked up a lot of really great stuff. There's this one booth, everything was like $10 off his sticker price, and he had like a backlog of stuff that had come out like probably close to like 5 or 6 years ago, and I think that guy was just like ready to sell it all because he was like cutting deals with everybody. Like, I posted a picture on my Instagram. Like, I don't know what anime these characters are from, but I picked them up because it's like this box. It's like these figures are like static figures, but they come with like a washing machine and also like a bookshelf and like detergent and laundry baskets and soaps and stuff like that. And they're usually $20, but he had $10 off of them, and I bought all of them. So like there's 4, so I bought 4, and he gave me a really great deal on them.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell from the picture.
Yeah,
but I initially thought that they were from Love Hina, but they don't really look like Love Hina, so I'm not really sure. But it's definitely an old anime. Those look like they're from like 06 or 05 or something.
Yeah, I really couldn't put my finger on it. Coincidentally, I thought they were from Love Hina as well. But
Yeah, they just look like that. Yeah.
yeah, they have the same art style, but like the props just is what got it for me. And like $10 a piece, I couldn't resist. It's really great. I also found the Figma Link, the new one, the new the shorter Figma Link from like Link's Awakening, the DX version. Somebody was selling it there for like $60, and I think that's retail price for it, if I'm not mistaken. The DX version.
I think that's retail, of course, not including shipping or tax. So you got a great deal.
Yeah, I was shocked that he was that much, like at that one booth that I was at, because like I saw him at other places and they were trying to get like 80, 85 for him. And then on top of that, that booth had like, if you buy 2 figures, you get money off. You get $10 off the second figure. So I bought 2 figures. I bought like an Android 18 S Cultures figure, which is relatively in scale with SH Figure Arts.
Which one? I think there's like 2 of them. One where she's like in an action pose, and one where she's like turning around.
It's the one where she's turning around, just because
I love that figure so much.
It's really great. Like both of them are really good. Like I love what S Cultures has been doing with like their static figures. Like I generally don't fuck with like statues or like static figures at all, but like Dragon Ball is pretty much the only thing. And then this I also dipped into like Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I got like a Dark Magician girl because I want to do a shot with that Revoltech Yugi I got, or Yami Yugi I got.
Remind me, there's 2 Yugis out there right now, right? There's a Yami Yugi and a regular one.
I think they're both Yami Yugi, are they not?
But are they from different companies or something? Because I've seen 2
Yeah,
different.
one is a Figma and one is Revoltech, which is a Keiyo, and Figma being a Max Factory.
Oh yeah, my fault.
Which one would you guys say is better?
I have the Figma one. I don't have the Revoltech one. Sorry about that.
Okay.
The Figma one is the one where he has like the jacket is sculpted off of him, and you can attach it to his neck, and it's like flowing in the wind.
Oh, I love that look.
I like that. I think that was dope. I think that was
I was gonna say, if you want a really dynamic one, if you want like a super exaggerated, like I'm about to play, well then you go for Revoltech. If you want like a really cool looking, really more default look for Yugi, then you go with the Figma one.
Yeah,
I
think the Figma
if you're really into some dramatic shit, then you go Revoltech.
I've just been seeing. I think his name's Articulated JP. He's in the Facebook group, but he's been doing a lot of stuff with that Yami Yugi and a Dark Magician. And I'm like, damn, I want that Yugi and that Dark Magician just so I can set them up like that on my shelf and never touch them again.
that Dark Magician is the Revoltech. It's fantastic.
Okay, so ideally those would be the 2 that go together. It would be that Yugi with that Dark Magician.
Yeah, I mean, you could mix it if you wanted to, but
the Dark Magician. That's like the darker one, not the purple Americanized one, right?
Yeah, this is for the new movie that's coming out. That what's it called, like Dark Dimensions or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay.
For the new film to come.
Yeah, I remember the first time I tried to do a vanilla pose with a Revoltech figure. I was not having a good time because I couldn't understand. Like this is like super back in the day. I was like, why can't I get this guy looking like a normal dude? It looks
Yamaguchi. He loves to sculpt with that.
That's why people are complaining about the Spider-Man and Deadpool, though.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's made for people who are good at posing, who would like find posing to be an enjoyable pastime. Like we always say, like a Rubik's Cube. It's just something you fucking sit down and play with your hands and do. Like I gave my girlfriend those body coons and stuff, and I tell her like just when you're watching TV, like pose your figures or whatever, and then she'll get good at it because she's always so impressed when I'll fuck with those body coons and I'll do some dumb pose, and she's like, oh my god. So. All that to say is, if you want those Revoltechs, you got to be good at posing, man.
That's a good segue because we could talk about that a little bit since they showed that this past week for the first time, right? Well, showed the Spider-Man went on sale this week. I'm sorry, it went up for pre-order this past week.
Right. And I think Deadpool's shipping out pretty soon, right?
I think Deadpool ships out on. I think Deadpool's actual release date, I believe, is the 16th, which is Sunday. So it'll be like another week until you receive it, but I'm almost certain that their release date is the 16th for Deadpool.
And speaking of Deadpool, the Insane Mercenary cutout pack went back up for pre-order yesterday. So if you didn't cop that, you should, especially if you've got this Revel Deadpool coming this month that we just talked about, or even if you got the Legends version or whatever you got, everybody's going fucking Deadpool crazy. So that pack is very, very nice. I'm gonna find some pictures of this.
Yo, Speaking of that fucking Revoltech Deadpool, man, I hope everybody ordered at least one.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah, you're gonna regret it if you don't. There's no hiding the fact that my favorite fucking company from Japan is Revoltech. Close second being a tie between Figma and SHF line. But I love Kyoto and I love Revoltech, and I tell you this figure is gonna finally get people on my side. People love to hate Revoltech because they can't stand still.
And
The
for
fuck standing
anybody
still,
who's
man.
anybody who's listening to this or watching this who doesn't own any Revoltech figures, I mean, I'm showing these pictures here. It's like Fabio was saying, it takes some getting used to, man. But it will help you become a better poser. Those figures will actually help you with your pose game, man. Because
Well,
I mean, it's a
the name
skill.
in
You got to work
itself-
on it.
The name in itself is because of the revolver joint. So you're pretty much really going to have to stay true to that and revolve the joints. There's no like just grabbing it and posing it. I
Right.
mean, every joint turns in a 360 in each direction. So you should be able to pull off anything you want if you're careful enough and patient enough to actually pull the pose off. Whatever.
And some of the joints you can actually pull them out and reposition them and spin them how you want. You really gotta a Rubik's cube is like the best analogy for it. Like you gotta work with it. You really gotta work with it.
And guess what? It takes time and skill to get good at a Rubik's cube. It takes practice. You can't just pick up a Rubik's cube and like be good at it. I mean, I guess there's prodigies out there, but
Yeah, and I mean at the end of the day, being the Revoltech advocate that I am, you look at the SHF Ultron and you look at the Revoltech one, I guarantee that there is such a large amount of poses that you will never be able to do at the SHF one.
And
And it's no discredit to the SHF, but it's stuff like that although they are sculpted dynamically just off the bat, so they can't stand straight. It's to the benefit of the poser. You can do so much more because of it.
You know what? The Revoltech Ultron still looks good vanilla pose too. That's one thing that was really that really takes that figure over the top, because you can do everything you want dynamically, but just standing them up in a vanilla pose, it still looks good. The joints are not really exposed.
I think the sharp edges of the robotic sculpt really helped it look much more natural when it's standing like that.
Yeah, you can see the Spider-Man. It don't look that great vanilla pose, but this is something that you should never have vanilla pose.
Go back up to the close-up pictures of his profile.
It still has a real anime type style to it. So I mean, I guess if you really with the pelvis thrusted forward and leaning back or whatever, I mean, ain't
that
bad.
bottom right picture though. You gonna pose them shits or nah?
Right.
He's got that girl with the ponytail meme face.
Yeah, I can't wait for those figures, man. And that Deadpool, I'm telling you, right out the gate, that Deadpool's going to shoot up in price.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to see the Venom that they're gonna do. I'm gonna have to buy many of those fucking Venoms, man. I tell you that.
I hope that they. I hope when they do the Venom, he's big. I hope he's bigger than Spider-Man. I hope he's bulky.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I hope he's nice and bulky. They've done bulky before with the Hokuto no Ken figures. So I hope that they can do that again and give us some good bulk on the figures.
We'll see.
Did you get to share your week already, or are we moving on to topics?
No, I can go really quick.
Do it.
I honestly haven't bought a great amount. I wouldn't have bought much if it wasn't for the toy show that we had last week around here. And I think Pancho will find this funny. I ran across this booth of it was really funny. I walked up to the booth and there was these Mexican guys who were speaking Spanish, and they were talking to me in Spanish. I was noticing their booth, and so many booths at this toy show have a lot of imported figures. I wasn't really giving it a second thought, and it was like one of those moments where like you see something and everything seems fine, and then you look again and then it's like, wait a minute, and these guys didn't really speak English, and I was speaking to them in Spanish, and I look around and I was like, hey man, in Spanish I tell them, is everything here fake? And he's like, no, everything here is not fake. And like, dude, he had every single DBZ SHF for like $10. He had
Oh
like
God.
he had the
why
third
did
party
you sound
Broly
like
head.
Mario?
Rotten in Denmark there.
He had the third party Broly head with the Super Saiyan 3 hair. He had like every single color of ML Deadpool for $10 a piece. Like I didn't know it didn't ring into my head. I'm just kind of looking around. He had like all the best Dragon Ball statues. He had them, the sculptures, the father son Kamehameha,
Yeah.
the really big Boo with like the air coming out of his head. He had all the cool pieces. I didn't really notice until I look around and I see like, oh shit. I was like, everything here is fake. And sure enough, I gave in and I bought a Broly head. And
yeah.
The one that
I bought
Pancho
one of
reviewed?
yeah, the one that Pancho
Oh,
did. Yeah,
that's worth it.
and I bought every single Deadpool that they had, like at least one of each color. I was like, oh, $10, fuck yeah! I don't gotta pay for that China shipping. Done deal. But yeah, it was just really funny that they were. I didn't even mean to say it because usually when you run across stuff like that, you don't tell them like, hey, is this all fake? But it was just instinct. We were speaking in Spanish, we were building kind of a rapport, and I take a second look at everything, and I'm just like, dude, is everything fake here? And no, this isn't what. No, man, we know guys in Japan. And I was like, oh, okay, man.
They know guys in China. They're being racist.
Yeah, none of the writing on these boxes are Japanese.
they had like 50 of every single SAO Figma, and some of those are really expensive. It was just ridiculous. It was a really funny moment, and none of my friends collect import figures, so none of them found it as funny. I just thought it was hilarious. They were all more excited about getting a Deadpool, and I just thought it was so funny that everything they had was fake. I'd never run across a booth like that, and it was just nuts.
Man, even Frankenstein has like some sort of legitimacy code about that. Like, if you have a booth that's just fucking, bootlegs and stuff like that, I don't think they'll really let you operate there.
It's funny you bring that up because when I first started getting like really back into collecting heavily, like me and my girl and her sister would like just go to like cons like around the East Coast and stuff, just anything close that was less than like 3 or 4 hours away.
Yeah, I've seen pictures that you used to go to a lot of cons.
Yeah, I used to go to a bunch. Like I think I spent like 2 years of my life just going to like almost everything, and then I kind of just like burnt myself out on it. Like I got it out of my system. Like I wanted to go and like see what guests there were, and then like buy figures at cons, and then like after a while I realized that like this is a lot cheaper if I just sit on my ass and just order them online. but I went to this relatively small con in North Carolina, I believe, and one of the booths there, like straight up, was selling everything. Everything was fake. But like back then, I didn't know. I literally didn't know any better. So I picked up an Nendroid Sonic figure, the one that's like really accurate to like the old Sega box art.
Yeah.
And I picked it up, and I was like, oh shit, $30 for an Nendroid? Yeah, why not? And then so I picked it up, and then I'm walking around, and then I'm at this other guy's booth. I never know the name of this booth, but he's always around like all the East Coast cons. He's at New York Comic Con too. It's like that big booth that the outside, they sell a lot of shirts, and the outside of their booth is always covered with wall scrolls too.
Yeah, that is the booth that me and Emiya, we were friends with the owner of that booth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he has like a huge amount of shirts. He has wall scrolls and like a bunch of alpaca plushies. It's a huge booth every time.
Yeah. He was there as well. And I'm walking by, and the guy was like, "Oh, what you got?" Because I was looking at some other stuff. And I was like, "I got this," and he goes, "Oh man, when'd you buy that?" And I was like, "I don't know, just like 10 minutes ago." He's like, "Oh, that's fake, right?" And I'm like, "No." Like, why do you think it's fake? And like he just pointed out all these inconsistencies, and like I felt like such a fucking idiot. That was like the first time I felt like truly embarrassed that something like that had happened to me. And then like I was just trying to play it off. I was like, yeah, it's fine, it's fake. I don't care. And then I went home, and then like I looked at it, and then like the paint apps on his eyeball were like off the sculpt and shit, and I was like, oh god.
Fake Nendoroids are the worst fakes because the paint is terrible and like they can barely stay together.
Oh yeah, dude, those fake Dragon Ball SHFs are bad too. Like there are some good ones, like Datong, who makes like the Vegeta and the Scouter Vegeta and the Trunks as well. They are probably the best in the bootleg SH figure art scene. Because I remember back before they re-released the regular Saiyan armor Vegeta, the Super Saiyan Vegeta, like back when Vegeta was still like $300-$400 a pop, people and Datong came on the scene. Like people were like going nuts over Datong, and then it got to the point where Datong, even their bootlegs were going for like $100 because they were
I
they were so
remember.
scarce.
It was nuts.
Yeah, and they were really good. But then this other Chinese company, I don't remember the name of the Chinese company, but they came out with like a Goku, and that thing was like the worst. Like the plastic felt like Lay's potato chips. Like they're brittle and they just like fall apart. They're greasy. Like it was the worst, man.
Oh god. Yeah, man. These fake companies, some of the shit that they're able to pull off is crazy. Like you said, I remember back in the day, one of my friends bought a fake Scouter Vegeta and was trying to trade me like some really good shit, and I was considering it. And I was just like, man, let me get that Datong Vegeta, I guess. Let me try to trade him something for it. And and then later on that year, at that con I was telling you about, that is basically like people describe it as the West Coast version of AWA. I found a Scouter Vegeta for I think it was $18 because the guy lost the stand. And he didn't know what it was worth, and I was just like, okay, man, yeah, sure. Oh no stand. And I fucking took off like a rocket. That con is really awesome, man. The con that I'm talking about is a 24-hour convention. They have a gaming hall where people just fucking game and play, fighting games or racing games. They have a Japanese arcade. It's open 24 hours. Some people don't even get a hotel. They just sleep in the gaming hall. It's pretty nuts.
That's great. That's how AWA is set up as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so people call that con the West Coast version of AWA, and we have a swap meet, so all people attending can sell shit that they don't need anymore. And I always come up like I got a SHF Gohan, the first release for, I think it was like $7, and it was because the box was super trashed. And I honestly didn't know if it was fake or real at first. And I'd forgotten about it when Emiya came over and stayed here for like a month or two. I pulled it out of a bag and I was like, oh, look, there's this Gohan. I don't even know if it's really fake. Take a look at it. And it ended up being real when we opened it and we're messing around with it. So that was a good buy too. You come up really well there. But as far as stuff that I've bought, and, not to get off track, it's not been much other than that. I got some of the Doctor Strange stuff, that Iron Fist. Unreal figure, incredible.
Still need to get that.
The Iron Fist is amazing, and I got Nico, and I don't think I have anybody else from that wave. Those new I don't know if anybody knows, but those new DC icons, they actually they have the SHF joints at the hips now, where you pull down the leg and you get more articulation. So that is unreal to see on an American figure. I never thought I'd see the day.
Who has those?
So far, it looks like the Green Lantern, John Stewart, and Wild. What's his name? Firestorm. Yeah, Firestorm. Those two have that joint. So pretty fucking crazy. I'm hoping from here on all of them have it like that, because you can get really good leg articulation now that it is that way.
That's one of my favorite joints on SH Figure Arts. That technology.
Oh,
is really
dude, me too, man. Me too. And I although a lot of other people didn't like it personally, I loved pulling out the ab too, and getting that crunch from it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I love more movement in the figures, regardless of if it doesn't look good sculpt wise or not. I want more articulations. Why I love Revoltech so much. Even though they have very bulbous joints, I can never not mess with a Revoltech figure and think that I'm missing something as far as articulation goes. And I also last thing I picked up was what are those figures called again? Mythic Legions ones. I did a trade with a friend called Dane, and I got 2 Mythic Legions. I got one of the ones that's like in the full armor, and one of the skeleton warriors. And man, those figures are absolutely unreal. And now I understand why they go for so much money in the aftermarket. These Mythic Legions, because they're incredible. They're really, really sick figures. The sculpt is incredible. The articulation is much better than what the Four Horsemen were doing with Patel. From whatever they're limited with. Ball jointed heads. They got ankle rockers like a Marvel Legend does. It's really nice stuff, and the paint is fantastic. Really happy with those. And And I think for that most part, that's all I got. Oh, one last thing. You'd find it funny, Pancho. I bought an Irwin Cell Games, or not Cell Games, the Budokai tournament, what's it called? The arena, brand new in box at that toy show for like $10.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's really old and dated, but just for $10 to have something I had from my childhood, I thought was really funny. And it was complete too. Pretty awesome. You know, brand new, was $10. I thought, why not? The box is fucking huge.
Was that one of the figures that was just repurposed? Like that was originally like a Bandai product, or was that like an original Irwin thing? Because I know Irwin used to just repackage like just import figures with like American box art.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it might have been a Bandai. It doesn't feel like something Irwin would have actually done. You know what I mean? I'm almost certain. I took a picture of it too. I'm almost certain it was a Bandai thing at one point that they just bought the
license for.
Yeah, the license to sell in the U.S. for and made it themselves. I ran across this booth. They had it for $30, and the guy didn't know that it was brand new in box. And I was like, "How do I know that everything's in here?" It's a really busy toy show, and he was like, "Well, how much you want to give me?" And I was like, "I'm thinking 15." And then the guy was like, "No, like I don't want to do 15." And then I came back later on the day, offered him 10, and he took it.
Oh wow, dope.
So yeah, I guess he didn't want to lug it back up. The box was fucking huge. And I ended up taking it apart when I got home, and it was totally complete. It was crazy.
It's cool. How's the sculpt on that? Is it good?
It is not bad, and it's actually going to fit in scale with the 6-inch with the SHF. So that's not bad. I mean, the other set pieces sucks. Like the crowd looks terrible.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, the arena itself, the Budokai arena actually looks great.
Yeah, it's a quick segue to that is like a lot of people, especially in like these Dragon Ball SH figure, like a lot of Dragon Ball figure groups, like they obviously talk about SH figure arts, but a lot of them like go and do backtracks of like Irwin stuff and Jack specific stuff, and Irwin stuff, like on the surface they look like trash because they're awful at sculpting like humans, like Saiyans and stuff like that. They look like shit. They all look like shit. But like when it comes to like vehicles and like straight up aliens, like they knock it out of the park. Like the King Kai from Jack Specific or Irwin is like the best like in scale King Kai that you can get. For
dude, I have like 3 of them because I find them all the time at the flea market and I can never refuse them. They're like 50 cents a dollar. It's such a nice figure. I can never leave it.
Yeah. So if anyone ever comes across like old shitty Irwin stuff that's like not a human, like take a look at it. If it's like some B character, like you should probably pick it up because they scale relatively well with SH Figure Arts, and you're never gonna SH Figure Arts, like, they're gonna go pretty deep into the line, but you're never gonna get like that bug alien dude, like that Majin bug alien dude, Yumi or Yuki or whatever, the guy that Goku fought or Vegeta fought in like the Majin thing. I think it was Vegeta that Goku fought.
Yeah. He wants to take him off first in the first level, and
and then like he eats his aura and then he blows up because it's too much.
Yeah, he goes to the dark world and he's like, "Haha, you're in my world."
Yeah. No, SH Figure will never make him. I love SH Figure, but they'll never make that guy.
No, they're never gonna give you a Bobbity. You're never gonna get a Bubbles the monkey.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get sadly a Mr. Popo. That's a super dream of mine. I love Mr. Popo. Stuff like that. It's always good to have Irwin and Jax, like you said, and the vehicles too. Gohan's car.
Yeah.
The time machine. All that stuff is fucking money, man.
Yeah, very good.
Real quick, while I have the picture up, I just opened up this Ash. It's fucking great. The double jointed elbows on this are like such a huge difference when it comes to posing these NECA figures.
Oh wow, that's double jointed.
Yeah, these are double jointed elbows on the Ash figures.
Oh wow.
So it's like it's like 2 pin sockets basically. So that's how he can actually have a realistic like gun at his side sort of pose, or looking at his hand like that.
I like
it. Just makes such a difference. I just had to point that out.
His pants are sculpted really well.
Yeah, the pants are really good too, for sure. Everything is really crisp about this figure. I mean, the head sculpts are just a fucking perfect likeness. One of the best likenesses they've done.
Yeah,
this is the deluxe one, right?
NECA been slacking a lot lately too, so it was nice to actually buy some shit that was actually quality from Funkast.
Yeah, especially when I'm comparing it to this Evil Dead 2 Ash. Wow, it's just such a fucking big difference. Obviously, like the top half of this figure is what, like 5 or 6 years old now.
That's the old, yeah, it's the old version with the static legs.
Right. So you can see just how far the sculpting methods have come. Like one of the Ash versus Evil Dead faces has a very similar expression to the Evil Dead 2 Ash with like kind of like the half open mouth, kind of like a gaping, like whoa kind of look. The Ash versus Evil Dead version is just so much better. It's just such a hard sculpt. You know, it has all the detail and obviously has like a lot more wrinkles and everything. But when you compare it to the Evil Dead 2 Ash, like it just looks like a softer sculpt. Like almost like the original material they sculpted it into wasn't quite as, you know, receptive of details and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really impressed with these Ash vs. Evil Dead 2 figures. That's all I gotta say.
I'm surprised Michael Ansberg ain't write a whole fucking book with that picture. He loved to write books, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, he's all about the storyline of a picture.
Yeah, that's what I just pointed out in this other photo that he put out. He had a whole like thing of dialogue. I don't know if it's from the show or not, but you know, it's very, very Ash dialogue. Pharaoh, you're good at doing that kind of shit too. As much as I hate giving you a compliment.
Damn.
I saw when you posted your picture of
with all the other bitches who always compliment me. You know what I'm saying? It was inevitable, man. It's just how it worked in the world. Bitches compliment me, man. So I mean, don't feel too bad about it.
I was gonna say though, the picture you did of Kraven taking Spider-Man's mask as a trophy, while the picture itself speaks 1,000 words, you know, the caption you put for it was really good too. I think you should have put that caption on Instagram too.
Nah, man. Instagram don't deserve no damn caption from me.
Yeah, you're right about that, actually. Never mind.
You heard it here first, Instagram. You don't deserve it.
Nobody reads shit on Instagram.
You know what? Hey, you know what? When I'm talking about Instagram quickly, I mean, I found a new respect for Instagram. I think a lot of people, they just don't know. You know what I mean? Instagram isn't really like no matter how much you tag a certain group, it's just not really like tightly wound. So it's just like anybody can get on Instagram and do anything they want. So I think a lot of people just don't understand the what it is that we do at A.C.B.A, the way that we do it or whatever. So I mean, when I post on Instagram, man, I mean, I used to only get like maybe 60 people might like my pictures. Now it's between like 350 and 600 people.
And you're not really doing hashtags and stuff, right?
Not really. But it was a struggle because I think that people when I go on Instagram, I look at somebody's picture who's just like ass, and they're at the 2,000 mark. 2,500 people like the picture. And I don't care about the likes. It's the fact that you got 2,000 people that actually said, "Hey, man, this was good." And I'm like, so you know, I pretty much I didn't put anything into Instagram really. I just pretty much I used to even like post a full picture. I think Boog commented like post a full picture and stop posting like half the picture. I'm like, for what? Like shit. I could post a fucking eye of the figure and probably still get like 300 people liking it.
Yeah, that was before they made it where you could square the picture and get your full picture in and shit. You had to square it on a separate app or something like that to get a full picture in.
Right.
Yeah, like I shot a lot of my stuff. Like when I first got my DSLR, that was the big change I had to do when uploading things to Instagram. Is I had to put it on an app or something that would actually let you put the whole widescreen, the whole resolution.
Point, if you on Instagram and your pictures and you still like screen capping pictures and like not getting a full picture on, you selling yourself short. Your account looks like shit.
On that note, if you're still like if you're using your phone to take photos and you're putting them on Instagram, turn your fucking phone sideways and shoot it horizontal because now you can put the full fucking photo on there. I still see so many people who are either like just shooting it in their regular camera and then putting it in square format on Instagram, or straight up using the Instagram camera to take photos of their displays or whatever.
Never use the Instagram camera to take.
It's garbage. Like you can have a decent display or whatever, but like your photo is gonna look bad. Moving on. What else are we talking about? New York Comic Con, right?
Yeah. Let's
covered
get
a lot
to
of
the
it,
topics
though,
now that we're all done. Talking about what we got. So
let's
first topic is
talk
gonna.
about those
Rick, hold on. I just want everybody to know that I got 24 bottles of Coke for like $6.
Come on.
Yeah, or you know how Todd would say it. Come up. Come up. There we go. Shout out to Todd Rectangular. You like Marvel news before anybody else, go to his channel.
Speaking of Marvel news,
They steal the homies' information all the time. It's fucked up. Back to you, Fabio.
Speaking of Marvel news, not marvelous news. Speaking of Marvel news, let's talk about some of these new reveals from Legends that we saw. We pretty much had seen a lot of it at San Diego Comic-Con already, but there were a few new reveals that were just rumored, and we finally saw them. So we finally saw Adam Warlock, Death's Head, the Shocker, Shatterstar, Old Man Logan, and the Sandman Bath, which I'm impressed with. I'll talk about the Sandman Bath first because it's just like what we talked about fucking even like a week ago, right? If they're going to re-release that Bath and it's going to be essentially the same as the SDCC box set version, just in regular colors, then you got to give it a little more bang for the buck by adding some, transformed hands or something. Sure enough, that's what we got. And it has, like he has the big hand. He's got like a spike ball. He's got like a hammer and a couple other things, I think. So that's pretty great. And an alternate head, of course, which is like kind of like half collapsed in sand or whatever. So yeah, they kind of went above and beyond. And fun fact, the guy that sculpted that Sandman head is the guy that sculpted the Wolverine head, the Logan head with the cigar, Mayshelf.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
He sculpted a couple of things. That have come out recently, or that are coming out with Legends. But
Hasbro does that a lot. I mean, Renee Algeretti from the AI design team, he did Old Man Logan. I think the regular Wolverine and a bunch of the current Legends too. But I just saw him recently talk about, hey, they finally posted the Old Man Logan. I can finally tell you that I worked on this or whatever.
Oh, it's cool.
They're friends of ours, guys.
About this Sandman, I'm worried about is that he doesn't have regular arms.
Right. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
So that's kind of some bullshit. You're gonna end up having if they don't fuck us over and you can't swap out the arms and stuff with the STCC version, then you'll end up having to paint the arms on your SDCC version, and good luck trying to match everything up.
Yeah.
You know what you can do though? You can use the regular arms from the Absorbing Man.
But there's only one regular arm, isn't there?
No, there's two. There's one for each arm.
If I'm not mistaken.
But the thing is, it won't have the the shirt. The shirt's kind of flowing from a green into the sand, and even if you swap it out at the bicep, you're still gonna get stuck with that.
You're gonna have to do that yourself. But even if you use the tan arms, you run into the same problem. Not to mention the San Diego set Sandman is harder to get than the Build-A-Figure arms for the Absorbing Man or whatever.
That's true. I mean, if they don't give us any, we didn't see any, what exactly is packed in with each. So I'm hopeful that we'll get, regular arms too. But even if it's just this, I mean, it kind of makes for a good Sandman regardless. It helps put him apart from, the Absorbing Man and whatever else is on that mold.
We get a regular head. I know a lot of people were worried at first, including myself, when we saw him on display, and he only had that sand punch face, and we were just like, damn, no, please have a second head. Sure enough, they show it in the box with Green Goblin's second head, so it's good. Great options. I'm loving it.
Oh yeah, Mayshelf also sculpted that Green Goblin.
Yeah, let me bring up pictures of that too. Give me 1 second.
That damn Green Goblin looks like he's a fucking evil bastard.
Yeah,
man, that Green. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it's Dave Bronx, one of our friends, Dave, or somebody is just not impressed with that Green Goblin, and I don't know why, because that shit is scary, man.
It looks great. I mean, obviously, it's not the classic John Romita style face sculpt, but that's a good looking Goblin anyway.
It is accurate to someone's art. I'm trying to remember exactly who it is. I'm gonna find the art too.
Well, I got some breaking news from Rectangular, Todd Ortiz. Only the left arm of Absorbing Man is regular.
I knew it. Thank you, Todd, for proving me right.
That's my bad.
Watch his channel. He's
the
right.
left arm is regular. All I know is that we need another option besides him walking around with giant ass sand appendages and shit.
Yeah, because you got to have him in like a vanilla pose or whatever, just in his regular arms when he's
or honestly
hired by the Kingpin or whatever.
Honestly, if you really wanted to, just go to eBay.
Boog is never going to be able to do a shot with him.
Just go to eBay and buy the Comic-Con Sandman. He's like $15. So, you can just go do that and just pop his arms off, because that thing's feasibly should be not that, shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, we gotta get some regular arms on him some way or whatever. I mean, because if they don't do regular, I mean, you know what? I just think it's a total ball drop if they just do not do regular arms. Period. That's just kind of stupid anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, it's times where I don't know, man.
I mean, they have them. You know, it's the same sculpt we always see, and it doesn't take much for them to just paint, you know, part of it. It's just a T-shirt, really. You don't get to paint the whole arm. Just do flesh tone plastic and paint the green on.
But even more so than him, I'm so happy to get the old man Logan. I don't even care about old man Logan, but the body, I'm going to be able to put the Mayshelf head on that body, hopefully.
Yeah.
And regular Logan, man. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's regular Logan right there. Exactly.
Yeah, that's all I've been thinking about too. Is swapping on the Mayshelf head on the regular Logan. I wouldn't be surprised if they give us a regular head too, along with the old man Logan head, but it won't be as good as anything else that's coming out.
And you know, you heard the idea here first. You know, that figure is going to be a little bit shorter, so I'm going to swap the hands and put Hal Jordan's face on that. We got Pilot Jacket Hal Jordan and Icons because that thing is going to be shorter. It's money.
For Icons, I was going to say that's probably a better fit for that because I see a lot of people like, oh, I'm going to take that and put it on a Captain America head on it. No, it's going to be too short for that. Too short for that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can fudge it, I'm sure, but you know.
Oh yeah, you mess with the angles and stuff like that. But as far as like having it on a shelf permanently next to someone, it's going to look weird.
You got to shoot it like Peter Jackson's shot Gandalf, made him look huge.
Oh yeah, those great angles.
Yeah, made those helmets look tiny.
So yeah, as far as the the Sandman goes, they basically showed us the rest of the wave. Basically, they showed us Shocker and the Sandman Build-A-Figure. So this is from the A.C.B.A. Instagram. This is showing that full Spider-Man wave. You got 3 hero Spider-Man figures. Well, I guess you're not gonna really count the symbiote Spider-Man. I don't know. I guess he was running around as a black suit Spidey as a hero a couple times, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got the UK Spidey, you got the black suit Spidey, you got the what's that? That's the new.
That's all new, all different Spider-Man 2099.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, 2099 Spider-Man. You got the Green Goblin. You got Miss Marvel. You got what's his
Jackal.
Jackal.
Man, that dude. I'm telling you guys right now because I know a lot of you haven't been able to see it in person. That Jackal in person, the detail is unreal.
Yep.
All the sculpted Fabio saw it in person too. The sculpted detail is it's crazy.
Yeah, Dwight was pretty excited about that one when I talked to him.
Yeah, so same here. He was trying to push it, and when I took a notice of it, I was like, "Damn, he's
and right." He's even trying to push it by telling you it's kind of a key character for the clone storyline if you're trying to have like that display or whatever.
Yeah, fuck Jackal. Sandman.
I will say the what's that one? Can you pull the picture back up, Boog?
Yeah, give me one sec.
I think that Shocker looks really dope.
Yeah, Shocker's the one I wanted to say. He's in the.
I didn't really like the pictures that came out first. They was looking kind of crazy to me, man. I didn't like the way the old man Logan looked. I didn't like the way Shocker looked. I didn't like the fact that they didn't give Shocker the mesh or sculpted on lines and shit like that. Like, I don't know. It looks a little cartoony. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me bring this.
And while he's pulling up the picture to ease everybody's worries, that Shocker is 1,000% not the Deadpool head. It is simply just the fact that these people sculpt these figures and their head sculpts through a computer. So they could easily take the eye that was from one figure and put it on another. It's just a plain head with a bug eye and a small eye. It is not the Deadpool head, although it is very similar.
Well, I'm kind of pissed that they gave him those effects.
Oh, those effects are terrible.
Yeah.
I'll agree to that. The effects suck, man.
Why? How does that even remotely look like electricity?
I have no clue.
When Spider-Man is going off kicking you in the face, then it's time to bust the bubbles.
Hey, but I mean, Shocker's power isn't electricity, is it?
Yeah, it's not. That's what I was gonna say. He does like shock waves, like seismic waves.
Shock waves, my bad.
Still terrible. Still doesn't make no sense.
Pancho's right though. That shit's still bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Over here having a bubble bath with Spider-Man trying to get the. I'm not like
rub-a-dub-dub.
Yeah, man. Bubble's terrible, man.
Yeah, that's
took us back to the '90s. We got bubble bath Shocker and shit.
Bubble bath Shocker coming to a bathtub near you.
Oh man!
You know what I'm going to do though? I am definitely buying 2 Shockers because I got to swap those arms out of my old Shocker.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Still
that'd be good too.
Because the old one had
That-
the missiles or whatever that shoot out of there.
Yeah, ab crunch or not, that Shocker figure was dope.
Yeah.
Like,
It was very good, and that's why I'm saying I wish they would have at least went that way. But I'm glad they getting us very close to completing that the Superior Foes of Spider-Man or the new Sinister Six, when there's only 5 of them though, by the way.
All we need is that guy that has a motorcycle, right?
Yep, that's it. That'll be the complete team pretty
I
much.
always forget that dude's name, but
let me say
We'll get
this.
him in like what, 5 years?
Overdrive.
Overdrive. There we go.
I think people, I was on over on the Marvel Legends Instagram thing or whatever that community's called, and those guys, they always compared Hasbro's or Toy Biz, and it's crazy because we were just having a discussion about the Hobgoblin, for instance, and I'm like, I don't really see the reason in having to pick one or the other, and that's the same thing with the Shocker, same thing with Green Goblin. I mean, you have 2 different versions. I don't know why people have such a hang up that the new version doesn't look like the old version, or you get what I'm saying? Like, you have a classic Green Goblin. Why do you need them to make another one? And the Green Goblin,
Right.
the classic you already have, is an excellent.
The Goblin that they're giving us right now, is I'm pretty sure it's the look that they were drawing them during the Superior Spider-Man run during that Goblin arc. I'm trying to pull up some art right now. So they do this often. This is what they do. They they model some of the different figures after different people's comic book arts. So it is what it is. They're never gonna be. I don't think they're ever gonna be able to top that Toy Biz Goblin. That shit is just fucking money, man. It's an excellent figure.
Right. That's your straight up John Romita Green Goblin.
But the thing is that you have it, so
Exactly.
you don't need to even make another one of that figure. And it was a great. It'd be different if that figure was ass, man. That figure was a great figure. So you don't have to
If
really.
you want, just fucking swap the heads. There you go. If you want your classic.
Hey man, I would keep the figure the way it is.
Oh, I mean in general, not just you, Pharaoh. The audience. For anyone
Classic. You have a classic Hobgoblin or Green Goblin. Got a more updated look for them or whatever. I mean, just be happy with that they're giving you variety. People just cheap, man. That's really what it comes down to. And they say, "Oh my god, Hobgoblin's $30. I don't want to spend $10 over retail for this figure. Make a new one." Like,
That's true. That's very true. What about what do we think about Shatterstar? I think that was one of the ones they hadn't revealed yet. They were still working on it at Comic-Con.
It's a bulky top man.
It looks a little bulky, yeah, but I like the swords that he comes with. It's such a perfect classic Shatterstar as far as like looking like a spacefaring swashbuckler. Love that shit.
That's the whole.
How long is it going to take them to give us a classic X-Force?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't
Star Jam.
nobody get your hopes up. It's gonna be a minute.
That's Ebonics, everybody. Don't nobody.
Don't nobody.
Don't nobody get your hopes up. It's gonna be a minute. We're about to be disappointed if you think this is gonna be back-to-back classic
Yeah.
X.
So peep this here. Pulling up the in-package image of Hobgoblin here. I mean Green Goblin, excuse me. So that face looks fucking great. But yeah, the face looks great. We already know what the body's gonna be like. It's the same exact body as the Hobgoblin we just got from the Space Venom wave or whatever. So the mesh and all of that shit's gonna look
Damn, it's nice.
And
the pumpkin bomb I think is better here than it was with Hobgoblin.
definitely.
Yep.
Green.
I pointed that out in the interview actually because that was one of the things that really stuck out.
It's the neck. The neck area doesn't have the chain mail or whatever you want, the scales or whatever on it.
Yeah, but you can see here it looks similar to the art.
Yeah, he doesn't have the scales there either, so there you go.
So the art for Superior Spider-Man, how they was drawing Goblin during that Goblin arc is very similar to this figure that's coming out, which is basically going to match up with the Hobgoblin that they gave us a minute ago.
Yeah. Go out there, get those older figures, man, for those gliders, because those little gliders they give you an ass.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If you don't know, there was like a Goblin War or some shit in Superior Spider-Man, and the Green Goblin was going up against Hobgoblin, and there was like something going on with the villains, like basically like leasing out their identity or their moniker to different people. Like for instance, like if you wanted to be the Hobgoblin, you could don the costume, but you would have to pay the original, pay like a price to the original Hobgoblin and shit, and then you could run around.
You're like a franchisee.
Right. So there was.
Get the fuck out of here with that. Like that.
That's like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I mean,
it's so comic book though. I get it.
The way they did it was sort of like on some like mob shit. It was like I understood what they were trying to do. I didn't really like the arc like that because I just didn't like it, but I didn't like the art really either. But yeah, that's the style that they going for here. So the original Hobgoblin, I guess, showed up, and this Hobgoblin that we got in some waves back, I guess 2 years ago, or whatever, was I don't know. I'm confused.
Hobgoblin is so fucking trash. It ain't funny, man.
This Hobgoblin was Ben Urich, maybe, I guess. I think that's what it was. And then the original Hobgoblin came back and some shit happened. But bottom line is they've been giving us every fucking thing from Superior Spider-Man, if you notice. That's been the trend with Marvel Legends. They've been doing everything from Superior Spider-Man. So I'm sure they'll continue on that trend.
And continuing on, let's talk about Death's Head.
Yeah, I don't know about this Death's Head shit.
Me either.
Just so 90s, like
very 90s. But
I know some people that like it, but I fucking know.
Cool. I mean, I'm happy to have like just a new fucking character on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I always say that I'm always good with getting a new character that they've never put out in figure form. I'm fine with that. But
you know what? I will give Death's Head this. It's better than that stupid Build-A-Figure tiger with a blast on its
arm. No question.
Whoa. The tiger still is better than that fucking Space Venom garbage we just got?
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know shit about Titus, but it's a new character, and it's not a weird incarnation of a character I already have. So for that reason, I'd be happy to have it.
I would have been all right with Space Venom if it had a different head and different hands too. If it had a couple of fisted hands and maybe just some variation of the head or something like that, I would have been okay with it. It's not a terrible.
Yeah, the head it came with kind of looks like Pharaoh, actually. Because it's got that weird like Egyptian chin thing on it. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's a pharaoh.
How do you know what anything looks like besides Randy's balls? Like, how do you know what anything looks like?
Well, because Randy's balls, I've got like a photographic memory of that. You know? This is something else I'm looking at on a daily basis.
Also, he allowed you to peek up for a second and look at me and then look at Space Venom.
I had to make a comparison, you know.
Hey, get up for a second. Get up. Look, stop. Get up. Look.
But yeah, Death's Head. I don't know why they went with this particular version of him, and I guess maybe not the classic one, but I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna relate to the Guardians wave because I'm pretty sure that's where it's gonna come out.
They kind of let it slip in an interview.
That picture looks pretty dope of him though, right there.
Yeah, but it's missing a little detail on the fucking Legends version.
There's a lot of detail on the fucking Look at that damn thing. They're like a Marvel Universe figure.
You know what I'm saying? It looks a little crazy, man. They could have gave it more detail with the dreads or the locks or whatever the fuck that is, and I don't know. It doesn't look that great, and they could have put more detail on the weapon on his arm and shit. And
that weapon on his arm looks like some Shatari shit.
Yeah, I'm hoping right now that that's just because it's a proto, but the paint on him is terrible.
You know what? That fucking arm though, that arm weapon and shit, you might be able to finagle that and swap it onto Machine Man or some shit, maybe. Who knows?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, probably be a little big, but yeah.
I mean, but he's Machine Man, so I'm pretty sure he can lift a weapon that size.
Oh yeah, man. Some of the shit Machine Man pulls out of his own body is pretty nuts.
So yeah, here's the full X-Men wave for 2017. I guess this may be one of 2 X-Men waves we're gonna get. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it is.
This
I
is
can't
the
believe
Warlock bath.
I can't believe we're getting that bath, man. Incredible.
You know
I
what?
mean, I'm excited. That is a solid lineup right there. You got,
I
I
hope
would
they don't fuck
say,
us over.
5 new characters.
What you say?
We got about 5 new, well, new like brand spanking new would be what's his name? The fire guy. Sunfire, yeah. Shatterstar, Polaris, and Warlock and Dazzler. Those are like new figures that we have not gotten before, which is fucking great.
No, true. We had Sunfire, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, but it was the Age of Apocalypse Comic-Con exclusive, so.
Yeah, that was mad long ago, and not that many people even fucked with that figure at all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would have if they kept making more Age of Apocalypse stuff because I love Age of Apocalypse.
What's funny is he showed up in a regular when the X-Force dudes was fucking with some of the Age of Apocalypse people and they had to go back or some shit. He showed up in the comics and you could have used him alongside your X-Force team and shit for a minute. And then I feel like he showed up in the regular 616 looking like that at some point too. So
I believe those fire effects he comes with are new too, right?
That's Iron Fist comes with.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Oh, that's what that is.
Dazzler was just. I don't like that Dazzler.
Yeah, that Dazzler.
People, I'm in the minority. I love that Dazzler.
I like it too, just because it's fucking. Look how silly it is, you guys. Come on, he's got rollers.
He's on rollerblades, bro.
On those skates.
Whoa,
Like,
rollerblades. He's got
They
rollers.
don't take out Apocalypse. Like,
But of course, that Jim Lee Cyclops is the star of the wave. Although, fucking Old Man Logan's up there too.
I hope they don't try to fuck us over on the Old Man Logan and don't have regular regular hands without the claws extended and shit.
I was just gonna say that if they do give him regular fists, they can't have the little bumps on there where they come out from. It's got to have just a plain hand because that's the whole fucking point of Old Man Logan is that he doesn't use his claws.
well, you got to realize that he didn't always have bumps. I mean, the X-Force,
Right.
Wolverine and the other yellow and blue one, they didn't have the claw outlets or whatever.
Right, but I'm talking just like as far as them like reusing that fist sculpt, I'd rather them just give us like the Iron fists.
No, man, they're gonna probably reuse the ones from the X-Force and just mold it in a flesh-colored plastic.
But with the portholes still in it?
Well, the holes are going to be in it, but you won't have the actual the outlets on top of it like the brown one.
I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is I wish they would give it 2 alternate hands, like one with the claws where you can port in and out, and then one that's just like a flat fist sculpt with no, anything.
I mean
that's how he uses the fucking storyline. He doesn't open up, he doesn't pop his claws till like halfway through, maybe 3/4.
I mean, it's always possible, man. You realize Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Wolverine right now, and Captain America, they're doing the most with. So, I mean, if you look at anybody that has
If
parts,
Iron Fist can come with 2 new fists, Old Man Logan better come with a new pair of fists.
And then, the last one, since we're looking at it, is that Shatterstar. And I think we've said enough about that. It's just, fucking 90s ass Shatterstar. What else can you say? He looks this spacefaring swashbuckler. I love that term. That's what 80s, space fantasy was all about. Just fucking knights and castles in space.
Who was that did the interview recently? Was that the Ultimate Collector dude?
Yeah, like Ultimate Toy Collector or something like that. Yeah, that's where Dwight let it slip that Death's Head might be coming in the Guardians wave.
I thought he was going to be blackballed or some shit. Didn't he have some trouble with the law?
I don't know, but that interview was pretty cool. It was just him standing in front of the guys with a camera and being like, "Hey, let me ask questions." Highly. Let's just say it's not the way I would have done it.
Y'all didn't hear about this incident with this guy?
Oh man, it was pretty crazy. You should tell him.
He was like in a newspaper or some shit.
Yeah, he was in the newspaper. He was all over media outlets actually.
Who was this?
Who?
The Ultimate Toy Collector, Remy Wilson.
Toy Collector.
Was he really?
Yeah, he had got caught up in some Target scheme or some shit where he was swapping out the barcodes and shit, and I guess buying shit for cheaper, whatever the case may be, which is a regular thing that motherfuckers do. You know, I don't do that shit. I wouldn't condone it. But the big issue was that this dude was a cop or is a cop or whatever the case may be. So
Yeah. The ultimate toy collector is a police officer, and he got a lot of shine or not shine, a lot of heat for the fact that he was swapping these barcodes.
Oh,
He was taking like $300 Lego sets and putting like $15 on it.
Dude, somebody's got to link me this article. I got to see it.
I remember this now.
Yeah, I remember it as well.
This was
Yeah,
recently?
I remember this. How did he get caught though? I mean, how did they what even put him on to him?
I have no clue. I don't know how he got.
I vaguely remember reading in the article that he just got too greedy and he was doing it really often and at a lot of targets. If people don't know this, when you pull off stunts at Target, they actually their system for cameras and stuff like that is actually more sophisticated than people know. And when you're at like a newer Target, they keep track of people that steal. And when you go past a certain point, they start to target you pretty hard. There was a whole there was a whole dateline on their security system. It was pretty nuts. Like, we've been following this couple for 6 months. They walk out of here in a baby stroller with like $1,700 worth of stuff every week, and it's pretty nuts. I remember seeing that documentary. It was pretty nuts. That when you do it too much, they start keeping track of you. Like, all right, we're not going to let you slide no more. You're not about to take 17 Marvel Legends again.
But I mean, okay, this is the big question. What I'm saying is that, okay, I understand that if you walk in and you literally steal some shit, they see you stealing. But I mean, where they peep him out, like, do they actually see him like swap the barcode? Or I mean, because even in a system, the only thing that really would happen is that they're selling an item that they're technically not selling, and then they're missing an item that would be on the shelf, and they wouldn't have inventory. Right, that wouldn't make a difference until they check.
Pharaoh, that's an interesting question because when I've worked at both Ross and TJ Maxx, and I'm sure you know how easy it is to swap price tags at those stores. There wasn't really anything we could do. We would get really pissed when people. I wouldn't, but my manager and other workers would get really pissed. And there was nothing we could do but kick them out because there was no real law against what they were doing. So it is interesting that you say that, like, what law is he actually breaking? Because you're not really stealing. So, it is interesting.
Technically stealing, but
you are, though. It's
right.
It's in the same vein as like when you work somewhere and you clock in or you're on the clock and you're not working or you say you work some hours that you didn't work. Technically, it's not stealing, but they do count it as stealing, though. Like,
you're defrauding the company out of money, so so technically you're stealing.
Right.
Period. So I mean,
the company isn't getting the right amount for the goods that they're giving you, so that's straight up. That's not right.
I guess that's
how do you catch it though, without literally catching it? You know what I mean? Like, because okay, here it is. Stores. I go into the store and I say, well, fuck it. Here's the Marvel Legends 3-pack for what do they retail for? $50. I have a fucking Marvel Universe price, a barcode I slap over it, however I do that, and I pay $10 for it. But how do you know that the Legends pack is gone until you inventory? So you know what I'm saying? So the system sees it selling a Death Head figure for $10, which they didn't actually have. They sold a figure they didn't really have, and then they're missing a figure that should have been there or a pack that should have been there.
Right.
And, I mean, but you just target someone like this person's doing it, unless he just walked in there and just started slapping price tags and all type of shit.
He came with his own print sticker thing.
I had a zebra. What's it called? A zebra, right?
Yeah.
All you hear the next hour is.
He was doing it.
I can't really remember because I read the article a minute ago.
His problem. That guy's problem, man, is that he was doing it on the worst thing you could do stuff with. I'm not sure you guys know, but Lego theft is like
a huge thing, and like you could look up articles. Like it is a thing that people get caught up for like fucking crazy. So he did it for like the worst thing, like Legos, man. These people track Legos like hawks.
I can believe
Lego fucking tracks their product like hawks.
Yeah, it'll get you caught up, Legos, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. That shit's just crazy. I knew a guy, Tito. He used to literally. Now this is stealing. This guy, it was crazy as fuck, man. No, seriously, man. This is because I don't play stealing. I don't do. I'm not gonna waste no fucking jail time.
Right.
I gotta go to. I'm gonna go to jail for some real shit. I don't want to have no fucking felony for stealing no damn goofy ass shit.
Right.
Toys.
The only exception I make to that is chapstick. I shoplift chapstick on the reg. Yo, it's like $4 a stick. Are you kidding me?
Hey, Randy, hey, them lips be chapped up, man.
Bro, there's a lot of dry,
Motherfucker making you work for that neck and shit, ain't you?
I gotta make sure I keep the glide steady, you know what I'm saying?
Randy, please, I need chapstick. Bitch, I'm not buying you no chap.
I mean, it's just common courtesy. You got to be lubed up. You don't want to go in rough,
All right, do your thing. But seriously, though, me and this guy, I knew him through another – he's a cousin of another guy that I met through at one of these local cons that we have here, whatever, that's pretty ass. But we went to a Target, and I'm with him or whatever, and it's crazy because I'm looking for him. You know how you kind of get separated? I'm looking for him. Like, where the fuck is this dude at? And he calls me. He was like, he's all the way in the back of Target by Burger King. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing over there? And so I leave out or whatever. They're looking for him. Because what this dude does is he was collecting Marvel Universe. He took a lamp and he opened the lamp box, took the lamp out of the box, and stuck the Marvel Universe figures in the box. and tried to go and pay for the lamp.
Yeah, that style or that method of stealing was big a couple years ago, and then they got hip to it. Or somebody who used to do it did like some expose, like exposing it and talking about it and shit like that. But yeah, you'll take something that's comes in a big box and just pack that shit with a bunch of other smaller things that you want. And then pay for whatever that is. Maybe it might be clearance. A motherfucker might actually even swap out the barcode on a box that they put in all the shit in too. So they really go in.
That shit is crazy because to keep it 100 with you, you be prepared for a lot of shit, especially growing up in the city, all type of shit. You just be like, man, fuck this shit. But that's some shit where I'm kind of like when they had their shining light on you and all the cameras coming like, hey, you was sitting there looking crazy as fuck. Like the lady it was crazy because when I walked out, I noticed the older lady and these two guys followed me out. And I'm standing around like, okay, he says he's behind this fucking place. And this Target is part of a strip. So it's like a long ass walk around this motherfucker, man. And I'm walking and they walk part way down. He's like, yeah, man, the lady asked me, could she look in my box? And I told her, go ahead. And I had to go to the bathroom. And I had to get out of there. I'm like, dude, really?
Yeah, you don't want to get arrested for stealing toys, man. Come on,
right?
Man, I'm like,
real quick, while we're talking about getting one over on Target, can we give a shout out to Chris Adams, who dressed up in his old Target uniform and went to go check their stock room for the next one wave?
I remember that post.
That was hilarious.
Yo, he Facebook Live the whole thing. It was amazing. Chris, if you're listening, you're my hero.
Yeah, he got a little way in, and then when they asked him who he was, and he said he was new, they kind of told him that he couldn't be back there and just sent him back.
Right, he didn't actually get caught. Like, hey, you don't work here. You got to get the fuck out. Like they believed him when he said, "Oh, I'm new here. I'm just lost." And the guy kind of like scolded him. Was like, "Hey, man, you can't be back here, whatever." And he was on his way.
And just to be clear, we not celebrating Chris trying to steal nothing. He wasn't trying to steal anything. He
wasn't trying to steal. He was just trying to get the case so he could buy it. He was trying to see if they had the case so that he could come back later and buy it.
Yeah, but that's the last thing you want, man. You don't want to, especially if you work a city job or any job that requires a license, and if you get arrested or have any contact with the law, they automatically look at your license or they automatically notify the state and shit like that, you're done. It's too risky. It's just a dumb thing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just dumb, man.
That shit was just crazy, man. I remember the whole. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty familiar with that whole people swap out that price shit because a while back some guys were doing it with some type of marker. They were actually blocking or adding line. They were doing something, man, to change the price of. Remember Walmart had Skywarp, and whatever. They were doing it for that. I remember like people were literally going into Walmart buying 3 and 4 Skywarps and paying like $10 each for them.
Yeah. Like I said, if you some kid or some fucking stoner without a job or some shit like that, and you get caught shoplifting or some shit, no big deal, whatever. But like, you know, you work for the state, you're a fucking cop or some shit. Like, come on, man, you can't get caught out there doing that.
I ain't gonna lie, man. My girl, she told me because you remember when the Iron Man 2 figures were out, those little 3 3/4 inch ones. They had those $5 off of Iron Man 2 or Marvel product coupons under the bottom, right up under the bottom tray. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I used to take those things off those packages all the time. I was just reaching, I was taking coupons, and they worked for anything. That's how I got those that Black Widow Winter Soldier 2-packs on them. I got damn things for like $7. They would just keep scanning the coupon until it went down to where it was untaxable.
Man, Pharaoh learned. These guys near me would always do it, and I would like always look at these figures without a coupon in them. Sad.
Hey, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I did that. And it was crazy because you know you go there with a Marvel Legend, and it's like, okay, here's this Marvel Legend for $20. They scan this there, or the 3-pack rather. They scan it for $40. I give them a $5 coupon. 5 off. 5 off. I just kept scanning them. I'm like, shit. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I've done that. You know, and anybody listening to this, man, before y'all start trying to take a jab at me, man, stop being bitches, man, because I know that's coming, man. All of you that did something.
Yo, please, everybody take jabs at him. Just jab the hell out of him.
I don't give a. Hey, y'all can take all the jabs you want. I'm pretty sure everybody by now should know that I don't give a fuck. So, if you don't know, now you do.
Well, on that note, let's move on to not the last topic, but one of the other topics here. Let's talk about I just had it. My bad. The Power Ranger trailer. You guys all see that?
Yes,
I saw it.
What do you guys think about it? I mean, the first impression I got was like, this is straight up like Chronicle. You guys remember Chronicle? Except it's not found footage.
Yeah, it's the same director, so.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the exact same director, so the visually it's very similar to, you know,
Isn't that the guy that did Fan 4 Stick?
What happened?
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, he directed Fantastic Four. He did not write Fantastic Four.
Right.
I keep telling people, you know, they're like, man, you can't trust this guy. He did Fantastic Four. Like, man.
No, he was just a hired hand by the studio, basically.
Number one, he didn't write it.
We have a teen cast in this film. Let's get you on here.
And, you know, number two, he came out and said he actually got in a lot of trouble for it. He came out and said that the film sucked before it even came out. So,
and the actors were a little nicer about it. They're like, well, just it wasn't the film that we thought we were making.
Yeah, he was much bigger of an asshole.
Right. But yeah, I mean, that was the big vibe that I got from the trailer. I think overall I just liked that, you know, it was a true teaser trailer. It was just like a quick introduction to the characters, very quick introduction to the story, or the plot line, and then we don't even get to see the suits, which is, you know, you only get to see a tease, so I think that's good.
Well, they've already showed the suits months ago.
Yeah, they did, but, you know, not in action in the trailer. We just kind of get those first glimpses of them transforming or morphing.
Yeah, surprisingly, it looked really good. I mean, there wasn't really that much dialogue, so we don't know how the script is looking. But as far as what we've seen so far, hey man, I don't know how you could doubt this movie right now with what we've actually seen. It looks good.
One thing I think Jeremy Johns might have pointed this out in his trailer review, but he's talking about how, you know, in the original Power Rangers, we're just kind of like, hey, Zordon's like, hey, we need some teens with attitude to be the Power Rangers or whatever, and then they just kind of get summoned, and it's like all 5 of them at once there. Looks like what they're going for here is actually like giving an origin to each character and like truly making them teenagers with attitude or whatever. So I think that's pretty cool. That's really what you get the most out of this trailer is just like kind of the history of these characters.
Yeah, and there could actually be good drama with this story. I mean, I don't know if anybody noticed, but the Red Ranger seems like his arm is messed up, and like he was like touching on a car that looked like it was totally wrecked.
Yeah.
So there could be a good film. It's looking pretty promising right now.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Pancho.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say that I'm very invested in this film. Like, I really like it when like adaptation films come out. Like a lot of people, there's always that group of people that want the exact same story told over and over again. And it's the same principle when like different artists and different writers pick up comic books and pick up like different people write for Spider-Man, different people write for the X-Men. Like when they do that, they obviously put their own spin on it, because why would you tell the exact same story again? They're putting their mark on it. So I'm always excited to see what kind of different stuff they're going to put the spin on it, because I mean, I've already watched the Power Rangers. I've already watched Super Sentai. I've already watched all that stuff. So like, if it's different, I'm ready for the different stuff that's about to come from this stuff, because I mean, they might fuck it up. I mean, whatever. That's always a possibility, but that never changes that the original stuff is there for me to watch. I don't care. But like everybody was saying, like, I think it looks good. Like the direction they're going with is great. People complain like, man, this is nothing like the original. But like Rick pointed out, a dude's head in a tube said we need 5 teenagers, and they just get sucked up out of high school. Like, what sense? Why would you?
It was me, but that's
clamor for that? Oh yeah, that was your my bad. Why would you clamor for that in 2016? Why would you want a 2.5-hour film based off of that?
Right. I mean, it's shot in an episode format on television in like a 22-minute episode. That doesn't really translate to movies. Hate to break it to you.
Well, my big thing is that when you look at a lot of these concepts for these older shows, a lot of these things really had no real direction anyway. It was kind of just like with the Power Rangers. I think they the way they kind of pieced it together, it never made sense anyway. I think as you being younger, it's just like, oh, okay, hey, these teenagers are going to have powers, and you kind of look past all of the dumbass shit that that surrounded that. So, I mean, it's the same thing when people talk about movies like Transformers. Or it's like, really, let's be honest. You had, it was a concept that they had to make into something that meant, it was really just a sell.
It's funny you bring that up, Pharaoh, because the Japanese version of these Power Rangers is very different. It's actually really dark. The Green Ranger disappears halfway through because he dies in the Japanese one. He straight up gets killed.
See, that's what I'm saying. And when they bring it over here, and force feed it to us once it's brought over and translated over, and they have to add all the American parts to it and everything else, it's really kind of like goofy. I mean, even when you go into like, look at the Pancho, what was the villain for the second movie for Power Rangers?
Ivan
Ooze? Purple guy.
Ivan Ooze, yeah.
Right, like, okay, I mean, look how dumb that is.
Yeah. He's a dumb dude.
Like, who the fuck? What alien race did they name their kid Ivan?
Last name Ooze.
All right, Glorp Glap. Let's call him Ivan.
Right, Ivan. We're gonna call him Ooze because for some reason he has his purple shit coming out of his butt. Like, so, like, we just go call him Ivan Ooze. Like, but for real, it's just a lot of things that attract children, and they really don't put a lot of thoughts into it. And then here comes us, these grown ass adults who come along and say, This is not canon. This is that and the other. Like, shut the fuck up, man, and just watch the damn movie.
Yeah, it's just because like dudes that like grew up with this, like obviously it's embedded into people who, like, I myself watched Power Rangers when I was a kid, so like it's embedded into me. But like, I mean, you remember this stuff like through the facade of watching it as a child, and you try and apply the same stuff to the way your brain works as an adult. And like, obviously you can go 2 directions. You can either just say it just doesn't make any sense at all, or you could try and logistically put it together. And then that's when that other type of thinking pattern comes from, where like, oh, it's not canon. I mean, like, you can definitely piece together, like, there's enough exposition with the Power Rangers, especially over like 2.5 seasons of the original Power Rangers, where you can put together some sort of story. But like, that's over like 90 episodes and stuff. But like it's interesting thing you said, like it's like the show is very goofy. Like it's a goofy like 90s show. And then I remember I think like 2 years back when that like that rated R Power Ranger movie.
Right.
And then everybody was like bugging out about that. Fun fact, my girl, like she knows somebody who used to be roommates with that guy or whatever, and then they did an interview with him or something for their YouTube channel, which is pretty dope too. And I like edited it, and I got it. He's a really smart guy, and the guy's really cool. But like everybody was talking about like, oh man, we need a Power Rangers like this, a rated R Power Rangers with like drugs, coke, sex, and tits, and like, and everybody is like clamoring for that for like the last 2 years. And then this new movie comes out, and everybody's like, whoa, what are you talking about? These aren't the same Power Rangers I used to watch when I was a kid. What the fuck do you want, man? Like,
yeah, my Power Rangers did coke when I was 3 years old.
Yeah, like
what? Really?
I don't understand why people like. I mean, I can understand, but like, it doesn't make sense when somebody makes a rated R like fan trailer of Power Rangers, and then people are like, "Man, we need Power Rangers like this." And then when a big Hollywood studio tries to find at least some sort of middle ground with it, they're all like, "No, this looks like bullshit." And like, to be fair, like the trailer, the thing that shocked me the most about the trailer was how if the Power Rangers never existed, if this wasn't a very embedded franchise, if I saw that trailer, I would never think that this was a property. This was taken from a property intended for kids in the 90s. It had a very serious tone, and I would have never linked it with the Power Rangers, to be honest. Like the way it was shot, like the direction of everything, just looked surprisingly promising to me personally.
Yeah, I peeped it. I saw the trailer yesterday. I thought it looked okay. It didn't look terrible. It didn't make me be like, oh, this is some bullshit. So I guess they onto something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, you know. I don't think anyone can really say anything because we don't really know much. Just visually so far, it does look really good.
Yeah, that's
we
really
don't
all we can judge it on. Is it just looks good right now.
Yeah, there wasn't much dialogue, sadly, so we can't really judge anything like that. All we really know is just the visuals, and so far, I don't see how anyone can argue. Yeah, I don't know how anyone can argue that visually it doesn't look really good.
Fucking Elizabeth Banks is the villain. I mean, Elizabeth Banks is one of the best character actors living, working today.
And she seemed really creepy.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's just her, man. She gets into fucking every role she does. Like, I fucking hate those Hunger Games movies, but every time she's on screen, I'm fucking dying. I love her.
Oh yeah, she wins awards for her roles for
right.
Supporting.
Even like small shit. Like I remember when she was on Scrubs, she was fucking good in Scrubs. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, it's she's a great actress.
Yeah, she's a true like character actor. Like she fucking dives into those roles, no matter how silly or minuscule. So I admire that.
I thought you know I found it kind of funny. I don't know if anybody noticed it. It looked like all the Power Rangers were meeting up in like a place that seemed like a Breakfast Club detention center.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It looked like Breakfast Club. Everybody is like comparing it like Chronicle meets Power Rangers, Chronicle meets Transformers. I was like, yo, this looks like the Breakfast Club first and foremost. Like,
yeah. They're all like what, Saturday school or whatever.
Yeah,
well, that's why I say it reinforces the whole like teenagers with attitude thing.
Yeah,
and there's totally a space. Like I don't know if you pause it, you see a fat guy and a really skinny guy in that detention room. That could be Bulk and Skull for all we know. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure it is Bulk and Skull.
Yeah.
They just confirmed the villain though for the Power Rangers movie.
I totally forgot about those characters until you just said that. Right?
It's the golden lion guy. I don't remember his name, but I just saw an article about it.
Goldar. Come
Goldar.
on. Golden Lion, baby.
Golden.
It's like I was so close.
The most menacing man alive.
Obviously, that's going to be the big, like, you know, Act 3 villain that they have to get in the Megazord to take down. Going back to the fucking TV show format and watching it when I was a kid, I think this was truly one of the first things I watched as a kid where I picked up on the pattern of the episodes. Like, I picked up the formula where I'm like, okay, they start off and they're doing school things, and then they get called for a threat and they go to Zordon's lair, and then they have to fight the big bad, and he's small at first, and he hands the Power Rangers their asses in that first exchange. And then maybe they'll meet up again. But sooner or later, they're going to get in the fucking Megazord because Rita Repulsa is going to make that monster huge.
Make him grow.
I get it. It was one of those first things that I'm watching that I'm like, all right, great. I can predict the episodes. So I think that was one of the first things I fell out of love with when I was growing up because I was like, oh, every fucking episode's the same. So if they don't do the movie like that, that would be perfect.
Well, you know what? I will say this, man. Not to even change the whole thing about Power Rangers, but I'm pretty excited that they pick up the Voltron line for figures. Just saying. The new cartoon. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that cartoon. Although it's not been formally announced, is 100% getting a second season. I talked to one of the guys that was working on the show at Comic-Con, and it's 1,000% getting a second season. And go and voice your opinion to Netflix. I'm letting you guys know so you guys can do it. But they're considering a lot of really older titles, things like Silverhawks, Mask, Visionaries. Believe it or not, they're highly considering making those into new shows because of the success of Ultron. So you guys
Street
want
Sharks.
Yeah, dude, there's no limit. They're saying that Voltron did really well.
Biker Mice from Mars. That was my favorite.
Biker Mice from Mars.
Hey, Biker Mice from Mars,
favorite, dude. I had all those toys.
Fucking hate that show.
And the coolest part was that their antenna would go down so that you could.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the antennas would go down.
Since we talk about Netflix, let's talk about Luke Cage a little bit more. We didn't really go into depth last week.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that, we can talk about Sigourney Weaver has been announced as the villain of the Defenders. Defenders is Iron Fist that just wrapped shooting.
Really? Saw the trailer. Yeah, that when that news come out?
Sigourney Weaver just came out yesterday.
Sigourney Weaver's gonna appear on the Iron Fist Netflix show. Is that what?
She's gonna be on the Defenders.
On the Defenders show,
yeah, which is just starting to shoot now.
Really?
Yeah, she is the villain of the show apparently.
That is something else.
Right?
Truly intrigued.
That is like so.
That's wifey right there, you guys. That's Ripley.
Yeah, that's so left field. That's like what? It doesn't even make sense at all. What?
Yeah, she's had something of a career resurgence in the last couple of years. I think she's always had that sort of cult status because of Alien, and Galaxy Quest, of course. But ever since she had that cameo in Cabin in the Woods, and ever since that, she's just kind of popped up everywhere.
No, I'm not against it. It's just random as fuck.
Yeah, no, perfect. I love it.
I really do wonder who she could be.
Is it going to be a powered villain, or is it going to be something terrestrial?
What do you say, Pharaoh?
So they might actually even just make a character up for her.
They might,
as far as being a villain or whatever. I mean, that's not even such a bad idea anymore because
it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to open up and bring other characters in a more practical way. Then it's almost like how they made Tony Stark the inventor of Ultron versus Ant-Man. I mean, it makes sense. So it allows you to open.
Because I don't see Sigourney Weaver doing mocap for a bunch of guy fight scenes and like she's in some kind of suit or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you this, I don't think anybody has any real grounds to complain about what Netflix has done with villains. Cottonmouth. Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, Punisher, Purple Man, Purple Man. All their villains have been, whether you have complaints on each individual series or not, or whatever you want to complain about, I don't think anybody can argue that their villains have been fantastic.
Definitely,
I agree.
Well,
and I would not be opposed to them making their own. I'd welcome it, honestly. If this is how they're doing their villains, I want in.
Or even if they take another sort of big bad from the comics that would normally have some kind of power or whatever, and just kind of humanize them a little bit more and make them like more than like a physical threat than really just a very like a personal thing for the Defenders. Like she has to somehow tie into them.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's somehow related to Trinity's character. Not related like familially, but they know each other or something. Whereas Trinity's character, I forget what the character's name is. She's the newspaper editor or whatever. No, she works for a law firm actually. My bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if she somehow knows Sigourney Weaver and they have very opposing views of this whole Defenders thing. Whereas Trinity's character is kind of into the whole. She's not really into it, but she sees the profit in it as far as her being a lawyer and taking these cases versus the superheroes that are causing all this collateral damage. So she sees like some benefit in that. from a character standpoint. So I could see Sigourney Weaver, if they're somehow related, sort of be like her foil. You know what I'm saying? This is just
there's a lot of really good possibilities with the scare, because like you said, she's not about to be doing nothing physical, and she's not about to be in no mocap suit.
Mhm.
So she's gonna have to be some type of villain, you know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Other than that, let's talk about.
Man. You might be surprised. Like, look at old Sigourney Weaver out there doing high kicks and shit.
I mean, I'm all for it, but it's all about her, you know.
Wasn't she in a mocap suit for Avatar though, or what? Or
well, you know, she was she was an Avatar at one point, but that's like, you know, very light CG work that she did in a few scenes. I'm talking about like a CGI like fight scene or whatever.
I'd love to see her on some high wires, you know.
Not me. That's wifey right there. I need her to stay safe. Precious cargo.
Like, man, stop playing.
Man, I love Sigourney. She's sexy.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
We're talking about Luke Netflix though. Let's give some slightly more in-depth thoughts on Luke Cage, but not go full spoiler because I think people are still sort of watching it. I think we said 2 weeks.
Man, this is like 2-3 weeks now, man. What's happening?
It's been 1 week, dude. It came out last Friday.
Yeah, it's only been a week. I didn't finish it.
For real? I know I finished it, man. It seemed like it's been like
right? No, because I
seemed like it's been a long time now.
It came out on the 30th, correct? Yeah, the 30th.
Yeah, it did. So it came out last Friday, so a week ago from this Friday.
I'll tell you this, man.
That's how you slacking.
Basically.
I'll tell you this, man. Like, I went to AWA that weekend, and I woke up super early on Thursday to leave. I woke up super early on Friday to leave. I got there. We did our con thing Friday. We got back into the hotel about like 11 o'clock on Friday night. I kind of had this like resurgence of energy, so I was all like, I'll watch an episode. I'll see what it's. I'm excited. I'll see what it's about. I'll watch an episode, and then I'll go to bed. I literally watched episodes until 7 a.m. Like I couldn't stop watching it. I was so enamored by that show. It was unbelievable. Like, I love that show. It was so good. The next day, I was like,
from what I've seen so far, I think it's great. I want to finish it up, but me and my girl have just been having different schedules and shit like that, and like she's gonna get pissed if I watch it without her and shit.
I'm a little disappointed in you, man, because my girl, she came in. I think she watched the first episode and she went to sleep, and she woke up like, "You've been watching it without me." I'm like, "Yeah, this my shit though." I mean, it's like a month. It took me a long time to finish Jessica Jones fucking with my girl, man. I'm like, man, listen.
Yeah.
I'll rewatch it because that's how much I like the damn show. Like, but I'm about to watch the show. I can't stop watching this damn show, man. And I really wasn't for the guy playing Luke Cage. I really didn't like him as Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. He seemed a little, I don't know, he just didn't seem tough.
Yeah, he seemed a little square. He's a little square.
But then once I went ahead and started watching this, I'm like, man, it all fit. And it didn't kill it.
Con yesterday, and so was the dude playing Iron Fist.
The whole crew was there. The whole Defenders crew was there, I believe.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Luke Cage did they did like a Facebook Live sort of Q&A thing a little while ago, and that was the first time he had met the guy that plays Iron Fist, because the guy popped into like the video chat, was like, "Hey, just want to say congrats on the show, whatever." And that was the first time they actually spoke. So it's kind of interesting, like even though they're co-workers or whatever, they don't actually like even meet until like the day of work, like the first day,
Right, yeah.
They're not like in contact or whatever. They're not becoming friends already.
I mean, isn't that how it usually works with coworkers, though, man? You get hired.
I figure when you're about to undertake this project together, you'd be like, hey, well, let's go get some lunch and maybe meet each other, get to know each other, whatever. Because you know about the shit ahead of time, like months ahead of time. So if you know that Defenders are gonna shoot, maybe it'd be a good idea to talk to your co-stars. That's not really a big deal. I just thought it was kind of funny that they met for the first time over Skype or whatever.
I don't know. I just think that the villains in the show stole it. And that's a good thing. I really believe that characters are only good as their villains.
Right.
And I mean, all of the villains in the show just pretty much were just like the highlights of everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's why Batman and Spider-Man are such great characters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I was especially. I mean, I don't know how far people got into it, but I like Cottonmouth a lot.
I did just want to address. I think it might have been you, Boog, was talking about how. I think I might have seen it on Instagram, but you were talking to somebody who was asking whether it takes place before or after Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
It's definitely after Jessica Jones, because remember the woman that Jessica kills by pushing her, or like she punches the woman at Kilgrave's request, and then the woman gets run over by the bus or whatever.
Right.
That's Luke Cage's wife. That's Reva Connors, the doctor from the prison.
You know what? Somebody else pointed out. Oh, my man Swift. I was talking to my man Swift. I didn't even realize this. I think it was like maybe episode 5 when the girl was like narrating what was going on through the city. The radio host girl. I didn't even realize that was fucking Jessica Jones's friend, the Trish chick.
Yeah, it's in like that last episode, right?
Yeah.
Cottonmouth cousin made a reference to Jessica Jones too when she was doing a speech.
Right.
About
Now this happened in like episode 5, I think, when she was. It was sort of like an homage,
like a montage or something, right?
To like, it was sort of like what's that old show with the gangs in New York City and shit?
Warriors.
Movie, The Warriors. It was sort of like how that when she was like just announcing shit that was going on through the city and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't even realize that was the chick.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't recognize the actress at first, but that's one of the big plot points of Jessica Jones is that, you know, she knows that she killed Luke's wife, but he doesn't know quite yet.
Right.
So yeah, I like that they not only, you know, brought that call back, but also expanded on the character. That's just like, oh, you know, she just dies in Jessica Jones. No, now it's important that she fucking died because she's basically responsible for Luke's origin.
Right.
There you go.
I'm wondering if they're going to explore that relationship with them again, though. The way they left it, it kind of seems like, you know, that was the deal breaker. Like, bitch, you killed my wife.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck you anymore.
Well, you know, they were going to be on a team together, so maybe some of that stuff's been worked out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the plot points that we have to overcome in the first act or so of the series before we really have, like, the team put together.
You may have killed my wife, but apparently she was a total liar. So
yeah,
you know, the revolution. Just probably be like, you fucked me like 5 times in a row, man. Like, get over it.
What about all that coffee? Isn't that worth anything?
Right.
How many beds did I have to buy because of you? How many?
Right? They broke their fucking bed. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's good that they not only like expanded on that little thread from Jessica Jones, but it also kind of, you know, puts steps towards what's going to happen in the future as far as like, oh, okay, so Jessica Jones killed my wife, but it turns out my wife wasn't exactly who I thought she was. So maybe, you know, not that big of a deal.
Maybe my wife was a total.
They gotta get some new nurses, man. I'm telling you, Rosario Dawson's popping up like Nurse Jenny from Pokemon, man. Like she's the only damn nurse at all. Everywhere you go, it's her.
No, there's like 4 different nurses. They're all sisters.
You know, the only thing that annoys me about Rosario Dawson's character is that they keep saying she's not night nurse, but they actually call her night nurse in the show.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the night nurse.
Makes no sense. No, night nurse is Rachel McAdams in Doctor Strange. It can't be Rosario Dawson. Like,
is it really? Well, there's multiple night nurses. Isn't that what they've said?
Just like Officer Jenny.
I thought they were all sisters, though. I thought all the Officer Jennys and all the Nurse Joys were all like, you know, same.
Hey, it's like, hey, Pancho, it's like, what's the kid on The Simpsons? Pimply face teen?
Yeah.
He at the grocery store, he at the fucking fast food place. Like, this bitch was just on the ambulance, man. Like, how the fuck she ever at the receptionist desk? Now she the surgery and shit? Like,
anything else we want to talk about? Luke Cage, Easter eggs, anything like that?
I want to talk about how great, like, the connection between every episode and how they went through the musical history of Black culture. That was the best. That was so smart and so great to me. I loved that. That was so good.
Yeah, man, it was a really nice show, man. I hate that the rumors of people not liking the show or feel that's what I want to talk about. I'm sorry, but I've been reading posts. Yeah, I'm just saying I've been reading posts about how people are hating it because what was the one thing they were hardly.
There's no white people in it.
Listen, I've I'm one of the people who I didn't watch Friends at first, but I've recently started watching Friends. I think that was kind of
The
funny.
whitest thing you've ever said.
I've only
Friends is
seen,
best,
I've,
man.
been saying, I've only seen one fucking black person in Friends. And one black chick that was fucking with one of the friends and started fucking with the other friend.
Yeah, Chandler
That was
from Joey to Ross.
Right. And, that's it. Like I mean, I don't complain that I haven't seen any fucking black. I mean, come on, man. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's the same thing on Seinfeld. Then they, how many black people showed up on Seinfeld?
And that
Not
show
many.
took place in New York. So
In New York fucking city. How does that happen? It's
Hey man, I watch a lot of just TV in general, man. And I mean, I watch shows. I call them white shows. I mean, I don't know if that's PC or not, but I mean, it's majority of white cast. It's another one. What was the Tool Man Taylor? What's his real name?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen?
What's the show? He has a show now where he owns like a sporting goods store or some shit.
Oh,
But,
that one's called Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing. The only two black people in this show that I've ever seen was the chick. Hey, but remember Living Single?
Yeah.
The chick that was the lawyer, the black chick, Maxine.
Maxine, yeah.
She was on the show, I think, twice, and some dude that was playing her husband twice. You know what I mean? I'm saying I must have seen about 30 of these damn shows. It's not, I mean, you know, Malcolm in the Middle. The only black kid on there was that fucking kid that couldn't breathe.
And his dad, who was like being ruled by his wife.
Going back to the point, though, like people are pissed because there's quote unquote no white people in Luke Cage. The dude that plays Shades is white, even though his character's name is Hispanic. That guy's name, he's white.
One of the supporting characters that's almost there throughout the whole season is that detective that's working with Cottonmouth.
Yeah,
Dude,
Scarf. I love Scarf. Scarf was great.
It was a show called Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and that's Parker Lewis.
Wait,
I don't know.
you serious?
Really?
Yeah, that's Parker Lewis, man.
Come on. Detective Scarf is Parker Lewis?
Yes, man, that's Parker Lewis. As soon as I seen him,
Fucking
I
kidding
told
me?
my girl, I said, damn, there go Parker Lewis.
I gotta go fucking look at this guy now. Parker Lewis. My older brother used to love that fucking show.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I seen him, man, I noticed
That's
it, man.
That show was it was unique though with the whoosh, with the sound effect,
Right.
with the finger.
Hey, you know that was all based around the time of that fucking Ferris Bueller shit.
Right.
Right. You had, you know what I'm saying, all them characters, Zach Morris, even, you know, they were all like the same character, always getting out of some shit that was too smart for the adults and shit.
Right.
But that was him or whatever. But man, I think I don't know, I've never been to New York. But when they said Harlem, I don't know how many white people they thought was going to be in the show. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it 100 with you. It wasn't like, I mean, it's the same thing with like, I don't know. I've never been to Beverly Hills. Maybe it's a bunch of black people there or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. But if I was gonna say, if you showed me Beverly Hills, there wasn't any black people there, I wouldn't start boycotting. Like,
I'll tell you this: the landscape of Harlem right now is much different than it was, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure that Luke Cage is supposed to be set in a modern time right now. There are quite a few white people walking around Harlem these days, quite a few white people living in Harlem these days. A lot of yuppies, a lot of this and that, moving uptown and whatever the case may be. But when you walk out onto the streets in Harlem and the blocks that they were showing and the show and stuff like that, you're not going to see that many white people. The streets are going to be filled with black people, especially in West Harlem. You go over to the east side, there's going to be a bunch of Puerto Ricans. It's going to be a bunch of Spanish people. So, it's not – back in the day, though, I'll tell you this. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, there was no white people in Harlem, period. White people did not go above 96th Street, basically. If they went above 96 and got into like 103rd Street or 107th and got like towards 110th, basically Central Park in New York City runs from 59th Street up to 110th Street. And when you get up to that side of Central Park uptown, then you pretty much in Harlem. White people was not coming to that side of the park or coming uptown at all. The only time you ever saw a white person is if you went to a school outside of your neighborhood or some shit like that. You might have some white kids in your school or something like that. Or if you went downtown, if you went to downtown Manhattan or to Midtown or something like that, if you was a regular inner city kid who never really left the hood and shit like that, you barely saw white people. Living in New York City your whole life, you might not have seen that many fucking white people. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, I mean, they didn't complain when the Hulk and Abomination tore fucking Harlem up. Did nobody say, "Hey man, was no white? Hey, where were the white people in Harlem?"
it's different now, but I'm telling you, back in the day, if you saw a white person in Harlem, it was like a rare sight. You'd be like, what this white person doing here?
They're the police.
Real quick, before we open up the Q&A, Rectangular, Todd has another chime in. He says that Frank Whaley is not Parker Lewis.
Ooh.
Oh, he looks like me, damn it.
Boom,
Hey,
there's Pharaoh.
I don't give a fuck. When you look at this dude, go look at this dude and look at Parker Lewis, them motherfuckers got skin in, man. Shit. Them motherfuckers, hey, them motherfuckers can be brothers then, because they look just alike, man.
Yeah, real quick. First of all, Q&A is open. Start pouring in the questions. While those are coming in, let me tell you a quick story of when I was unintentionally racist a couple of weeks ago.
Here we go.
I was just coming back from Toys R Us, and the way my street is designed is that it's two like dead end streets that run like end to end, and then there's one big street that crosses in between those. And I live right on the corner, so my garage is it faces the main street that goes down to Pacific Coast Highway. So when I exit my garage, I have to turn right up the dead end street to get into my building. And around that corner, there's like a hedge, so I can't see what's around that corner there. And I was just coming back from Toys R Us. And I'm kind of weird about when I come back from Toys R Us to my house because like my neighbors are always like walking their dogs and shit. And I don't want to come home with like a big orange or green or purple bag with an R Us logo on it and have people be like, hey, what you got there? I really just don't want to get into a conversation about the shit I just bought at Toys R Us with fucking strangers. So I'm always like on the lookout before I get out of my car to be like, is there anyone here? I don't want to walk by anyone with this bag, especially because I had a fuck ton of stuff. So I figure the coast is clear. So I exit my car and I go around the hedge. And like I said, I can't see around that corner. So as soon as I get around the corner, I see my neighbor who's kind of newish. He just moved in. He's a black dude. But, you know, he's always around. I see him. I say hi to him. But I come around that corner and he scares me because I'm like, oh, fuck, a neighbor. I'm going to have to talk about these toys. But then he saw me kind of like flinch and reacted him. So I'm pretty sure he like looked at me like, dude, did this guy just fucking get scared at me because I'm black? Like, no, it would have happened if it was like my old neighbor who was like walking her dog. I would have just been like, oh, fuck, this bag.
That's weird.
That was looking pretty bad on my part, I must say.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of like that too, though. I don't know. I don't want my neighbors in my fucking business either.
Right.
But
flat out, I just don't want to make small talk. I really don't want to make small talk. So
I don't mind talking to my immediate neighbors and shit, especially the people on my floor. But like, I don't want them in my business though either. I don't know.
Yeah, because nobody really knows what I do, so it's like I really don't want to open up that fucking can of worms, and then sooner or later they're gonna be like, "Oh, you must have a lot of shit in your house." Then I'll be like, "Oh, yeah." Hang on, I saw a question earlier that I wanted to touch on. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody else filled the dead air.
Hey, it's me, Rick. Let me ask you a question. Do you like bait and tackle? Well, go down to Bass Pro Shop. They got a lot of it.
Well, I love
Come to anime. You gonna get camaradas?
what?
Camaradas.
Oh, okay. Blade Wilson wanted to know why we podcast on Sundays. Because we do.
I don't
Just
know.
kind of the way it works. I don't really know.
Camarada on Sunday, so when the camaradas come on TV, we really want to watch them.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, we're in a pretty good time slot here because as soon as we're done, you know, we got Walking Dead or whatever Sunday show is on. Asher's is Evil Dead, for example.
And it gives you something to listen to on Monday morning when you're going back to work and you fucking miserable.
And you know, the main thing about wanting to do this show on Sunday when I was first coming up with this with Boog was the fact that all of the news from the week we could talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
There's no news coming in on Sunday.
yeah. I mean, if there's a big con going on, even Comic-Con, you know, there's no news on Sunday. Everything is revealed on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it works better for everybody's schedules too. That's another big thing.
yeah, that too.
And yeah, I mean, I like to listen back to the podcast, you know, when I'm driving at work or whatever.
Yeah, I love to listen to Fabio.
I think it's just a good, like, you know, a podcasting schedule is just kind of a difficult thing to adhere to a lot of the time. So it's hard to get, you know, what is it, 5 people in here to all agree on the same time.
Yeah, when you have a larger cast, it's really hard. You know, you're like 1 or 2 people, it's not a big deal. But
Yeah.
you know, us, we're usually like at some point we're even 7 people in here. It's not easy to get us all together, and you know, Sunday is not a working day. So you know, usually, you know, if you work an office job, you know, it's much easier for most people.
We got a question from DreadZ2219. We didn't talk about this, but we should have. SH Figure Arts Street Fighter. Come on.
Was that?
I talked about that with Emiya here on the podcast, that it was coming a long time ago.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on that either. We actually didn't really talk about anything else from the con.
Yeah, Fabio accidentally skipped over Bondi.
Yeah, accidentally. That's it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was on accident.
He accidentally forgot it when Randy accidentally told him to do it.
Hey, man.
Oh, did you hear my phone buzz or something? How'd you know that?
They said they're going to show me how it's done. Well, I'm not going to bring them up on your podcast. How about that?
I saw the figures in person, and they look good. They look pretty good. I was a little concerned about the way the knee joints looked on Ryu, though.
Those things are crazy.
Oh, real quick, we got to talk. Thanos Ruler, he pointed out earlier on that it is not the same director from Chronicle and Fan Four Stick that does Power Rangers. That guy's name is Dean Israelite. Josh Trank did Chronicle and Fan Four Stick.
Really?
Okay. They're the ball the way around today, ain't we?
Yeah, y'all got Israelites in Cali?
I guess so.
You know about the Israelites?
I know about the you know, the guys in New York that call themselves the Israelites.
All right, yeah, y'all got that in Cali?
No, we don't have any of that here.
Oh shit!
The worst, we'll have like guys with loudspeakers on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard just telling you.
Israelis over here have a much better position on the West Coast. They're basically richer than everybody else.
Nah, we're not talking about Israelis. We talking about
the Black Israelites. Is that what they're called?
Black Israelites. Yes.
They have those viral videos on the internet where they're just like, they're pissing people off. They're just saying inflammatory things, and they're like,
yeah, with like their crazy Egyptian-looking hats.
Right.
Over here, we got the Nation of Domination.
What were you gonna say about those?
It's led by Farouk.
Yeah, Israelites, for those that don't know, in the watching or in the chat or whatever, they basically consider themselves the first real Jews, the Black Jews. So they're a unique bunch of people, man. But
they call them like prophets and
right. Just go on YouTube and look up Black Israelite videos. It's just like, you know, fucking public freakout videos, essentially, of like, you'll have like this feminist woman come up and be like, oh, I can't believe you're saying all this stuff. And then the guys just like are so like degaff about it that they'll just say whatever insulting thing to her. And she'll just be like, oh, well, I can't believe you. It's fucking hilarious.
They're very vocal against white people.
Yeah, dude, definitely.
The white man has been keeping us down.
I don't even know how else to put it. Like, they just don't fuck with white people, man, for the most part. So, but yeah, it's weird. It's a lot of them in New York City. As a matter of fact, there is I'm not sure what they call their house of worship. I don't know if they consider it a church or whatever the case may be, but they have a place of worship, like literally like a block away from where my parents live. And
I thought their place of worship was the block.
Anywhere now, they actually have a temple or whatever the case may be. But anywhere that they do have their place of worship, they're very like military-esque in a way too, because even the days that they have worship or have service or whatever the case may be, they will have like guards at like all around the perimeter of the place or whatever, like a block radius around, like it's weird. Like I don't know, man. It's like, but nobody fucks with them in New York. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants any problem with those dudes at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they're pretty tough.
I've seen they're pretty crazy. But back on the topic.
Yeah.
Again, Fabio derailing.
No, I was not. I just
Bondi.
said the director's name was Dean Israelite.
Yeah, man. Back to Bandai. We finally see Tien and Yamcha for more than 2 seconds.
Hell yeah.
Tien's. I mean, I'm gonna address the biggest issue people have. Yamcha's knees do look terrible.
They
Yes.
look.
Oh, yeah.
fucking
I was just gonna
horrible.
say that they changed that, didn't they?
The knees, yes, they do look horrifying. I don't know what else to say. I
Other than
wasn't there.
Goku would swap them shits.
I wasn't there. Emiya isn't here to tell us what Adam said, but those knees on Yamcha look absolutely
There you go.
horrendous.
The
I'm
Street
hoping.
Fighter stuff looks pretty good. Just getting back to the question, I think there's a lot of new Street Fighter merch on the market these days. So it's going to come down to how these compare to the Storm Collectibles ones.
And there's another coming too. We're getting another line from Pop Culture Shock that they announced last year that they still haven't even done. Leave it to Jerry. He's the guy that was behind Soda. That guy takes forever.
Here's a quick question. Would it have been better to have a Doc Ock build the figure instead of the Sandman?
I don't know.
You gotta keep it like 100 with yourself as far as common sense goes. I mean, they already had they did the Sandman, so naturally you're going to get a regular colored Sandman. That was going to come regardless. Right. Yeah, I mean they need to get as much out of the mold as they can. They've already done the Absorbing Man. They went ahead and gave you that sand colored Sandman as a throwaway. So you guys should. I mean, we were going to get that figure no matter how much sense it would have made to have something else. You know what I mean? You might have wanted something else, but that was coming. That's more practical for them to do. If you really look at a lot of Marvel Legend lines, not every line, but a lot of them, or should I say waves, the characters are pretty much similar in color somewhere.
Like yellow and the yellow from Wolverine and Rogue.
Right. You're gonna get a lot of similar colors, unless it's. I mean, like I said, it varies sometimes, but most times it's like that. And I mean, pretty much what they make has to be practical. They have to use whatever mold they come up with as many times as possible. So I mean, true enough, it would be nice to get a Doc Ock. It'd be nice to get a lot of shit, but I mean.
But you got to think about Doc Ock's body. They're gonna have to create a new body for that, and then you got to think about who else they want to use for that body. Now, don't get me wrong.
Aside from Mole Man, I don't see anybody else that would be.
Yeah, I was thinking Mole Man. Who else is short and a little pudgy though? Who else could that be?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if they're waiting on Doc Ock because maybe the people at Hasbro know something about movie plans that we don't. Maybe they're going to do that in the movies, and they're just kind of holding off until it ties in better.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, real quick to sidetrack and not really sidetrack, but getting back to Bandai. Shit,
Fabio.
I did it again.
This shit looked awful. This fucking Joker looked awful.
Oh yeah.
What looks awful?
Huh?
What looks awful?
This Joker. This is the Figure Watch Joker right here.
Yeah, it looks like shit.
I don't know what they were thinking on that one.
Hey, you can't say he doesn't look happy.
Let me see. Yeah, that I don't know what.
I mean, look at those comments. Everybody is fucking.
Yeah, look at the comments. Nope. NECA and Hot Toys are the only companies to get Ledger's likeness right. NECA's paint was just awful, but the sculpt is there. Shaking my head. I expected better from SHF. Better than Mayfex, though. Not really. This is not
arguably. Yeah, very, very much.
A lot of people don't know this, but the Mattel Movie Masters, if you strip the paint and repaint it, that's one of the most recognizable Heath Ledger likenesses, period.
The Mayfex Joker was actually pretty damn good. It's just the face was just a little off, but everything else was very nicely done. Mayfex actually did a good job on that.
Yeah, and one thing so all the viewers can know and remember is that how many times have we seen disgusting SHF sculpts and they don't come out that way? Look at Mace Windu, look trash. Black Widow looked terrible. Hawkeye looked like a man that was punched severely in the face throughout his life. It all can get updated, hopefully, and I'm sure this is going to be the case with this because this looks terrible.
I mean, you know what? I'm sure this is going to get updated too because if you look at this in comparison to Harley, which is done and about to come out soon, like this shit looks amazing. It looks great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm really looking at that face.
Technology. It's kind of a bummer that they didn't quite nail it with Ledger.
Oh, I mean, like Rick just said, man, more than likely, by the time we get through tweaking it, you be thinking Ledger sitting on your damn table.
Yeah. I mean, You can go look up sample pictures of Mace Windu. It looked horrible. He looked like some man from Japan did blackface.
Yeah, and the Mace Windu figure came out fucking excellent. I didn't really have any problems with that figure at all. It looked fucking great.
Yeah, it just the stuff gets tweaked over time, and I'm sure this is going to be the case, and I hope it's going to be the case.
So they showed Tien too. Who knows when that'll actually fucking come out? But
Hey, where's that Trunks from? I don't recognize that. And the guy next to him.
All right, let me go ahead and take.
Pancho, take those reins.
Let me take the reins on this.
Pancho, speak on it.
Let me take the reins on this one. All right. Okay, so Trunks and that other red-haired fella next to him, they're from Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which is the game for like Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. A lot of people are really like upset and mad that like this version of Trunks, he's called Time Patroller Trunks. He basically takes the mantle of protecting time and people who try and go back and fuck with time and fuck with the timeline. A lot of people in the community are mad that they're making these guys as figures. Me and Rick were talking about this just the other week, or just earlier this week. The thing with the Dragon Ball SH Figure Arts license is like it's a very interesting time for Dragon Ball Z right now because Dragon Ball is going through another Renaissance era and they're making new characters and stuff like that. So we've seen like Nappa years ago. And we've seen like all these characters, Tien and Yamcha, years ago, and they still haven't come out yet. And people are mad that they haven't come out yet. But the thing between a Nappa and a Yamcha and Tien is those characters are already staples and pillars in the Dragon Ball fandom and stuff like that. 10 years from now, a year from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, people are going to want Nappa no matter what. Just like when we saw Nappa first, people wanted him then, people still want him now. So SH Figure Arts and Bandai doesn't have to worry about trying to sell and trying to make Nappa look appealing because no matter when they put out Nappa, he will always be appealing. But specifically for this Time Patroller Trunks and that the default created character for Xenoverse, like Dragon Ball Xenoverse is happening now. And who's to say if this look for Trunks will be a staple in a year from now? So they're obviously going to push these figures out sooner while the iron is hot. And they want to sell them because why would you buy like a Xenoverse figure 2 or 3 years from now after the game has come and gone? Like no one's going to want to buy that. And right. I mean, it's just good business, honestly. This is the same way that people were complaining when Dragon Ball Super started coming out. And then they started off all these prototypes for Beerus and Whis, and everybody's like, well, where's my Nappa? I mean, but like, Beerus and Whis, they're now. Like this is what's happening right now. So obviously they're going to make them right now and sell them while people are interested in these people. Who's to say if people are going to give a fuck about the Xenoverse, like Time Patroller Trunks, like a year from now? But to be fair, like Time Patroller Trunks is a very big staple in the Dragon Ball community, especially over in Japan, because he's not only from Dragon Ball's universe. He's very present in Dragon Ball Heroes, which is a card game, a Dragon Ball based card game with like it's a big arcade game that's like huge in Japan, and like he's big in that game. He's big in Xenoverse. He's also big on like I can't remember the name of that. It's like a physical game, kind of looks like Pogs, but they're like discs, and like he's big in that game too. So like it just makes sense for them to make a figure of Trunks because Trunks is he's the most popular character out of the Dragon Ball lineup in Japan. So it just makes sense.
Yeah, it's not even close that he's the most in Japan. And like Pancho said, fucking Nappa and Yamcha and Tien and these people are timeless.
Right.
Time Patroller Trunks and the default character Time Patroller, like who's gonna give a shit about these guys in 5 years? We don't know.
Is that who the other character is? The red hair?
When they were about to do Age of Apocalypse Cyclops, what everybody said was, well, why the hell do we want this now? Nobody cares about the story anymore. The story actually ended up sucking in the end, and nobody was happy with it. So nobody wanted the figure, and they didn't make it. Why would Bandai want that kind of problem? You know what I mean? They might as well do it while they can, put them out now. I mean, it goes the same with Champa and Vados and the rest of their team that they pulled for us to say which ones we wanted first. Who's to say that people are going to care about the team that Goku and friends fought that were Champa's people? Who's to say people are going to care about them in a few years?
I don't think anyone even gives a shit about right now.
No, dude, storyline was months ago, and I don't really think people care about them anymore. Even myself, when they said that they were going to make Ciampa and Vados' team, I was like, oh man, I want Hit, I want this guy, I want fake Boo, that big bear that looks like Boo, I want him. And now I could give a shit about those guys, and I want Black, and I want who's current.
Exactly.
That's just how things go. That's how feelings are for anybody else. When something new is on, you want what's new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just a good business move, honestly.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I could not agree more.
So this Gohan looked pretty fucking nice too.
Yeah. He's to go with he's like the revamped version. Kind of like the 2.0 Trunks, like Awakening Goku was like 2.0 Goku. They're really, really nice.
Yeah, I think TN, as a matter of fact, the new TN had that 2.0 had leg articulation as well. So
yeah, that was really cool to see. Now that you mentioned that, having those like V cuts on the crotch, really awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. I really hope, I honestly wouldn't be opposed for them to just go through the entire line and just give everybody updated molds, especially a Piccolo. If they make a Piccolo that's the right scale, because Piccolo's like mad short in SH Figure Arts. If they made him like super tall, that would be great.
Well, one of the great things that bodes for us fans that want another Piccolo, Pancho, is, I'm sure that because you're an avid fan, is that for some reason, although he's arguably my favorite character in Dragon Ball, just a personal thing as a kid, he's really fucking popular in Japan. I don't know why. Even Emiya, when I ask Emiya, even Emiya's not a big fan of Piccolo. I mean, he respects Piccolo. He's an icon in anime. But he's not the biggest fan, and even he acknowledges that for some reason in Japan and fans in general, they really love Piccolo. I mean, look at the SHF line. The first figure was Piccolo.
Yeah, that's very true.
For some reason, people really love Piccolo. I don't get it. I love Piccolo.
He's worth the least.
When I was a kid,
that's true.
When I was a kid, it was really hard to find other figures, and the only figure that I would ever find in a store was Piccolo. So I loved Piccolo a lot as a kid. I don't know why everybody else loves Piccolo, but he's apparently people freaking love Piccolo. He's always first in like every line. I mean, look at DOD, Dimensions of Dragon Ball.
DOD.
Yeah, he was first in there too. For some reason, people really love to sculpt Piccolo, and people just love that character a lot in general. So it bodes really well for us to get a second one because he's just so popular.
Yeah, I think he just has like a very iconic look and silhouette. Also, like. Even down to like One Punch Man, he was the first villain that was parodied in One Punch Man as well.
Yeah, exactly. He was the first villain that was parodied. Yeah. It's very. I'm excited to see where this is all going to go. Like you, Pancho, this is a really exciting time to be a fan of Dragon Ball, and there's a lot of cool stuff coming in store for us, and I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
We got a comment actually from Avenger Vasti. It's for Boog. He says, I know this isn't a question, but Boog, I really appreciate what you said on the group page about my progression with A.C.B.A.
Oh god.
Hey man, nothing wrong with getting better. You know what I mean?
No doubt. I was talking about how he is a true student of the game and shit, and really kind of like looks to some of the people that are really good in A.C.B.A. and good in displaying, and anytime I noticed that anytime he recreates something that someone else does, he does it better. He's not one of these people that are like fucking up a classic setup. He's always finding new ways to make something better. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely respect that about him. And he's somebody that's always took constructive criticism well and used it to hone his skills and make his displays better all the time. He's always consistently better and reinvented himself. So yeah, definitely, man, no doubt.
Let's see. This is a good one. What's the ETA on the World Championship tournament? We keep hinting at it a little bit.
We just talked about it again tonight in our chat for World Tournament. So we should be buckling down this week to get everything right. Ty is away in Europe right now. Pancho was just getting over the hurricane. So some of our key people were not available to get the plan and everything done. So this week we should all be kind of falling back into place, and we should be pairing off into our groups to do whatever tasks we need to do to get it done. So I'm hoping after this week we'll have the dates and everything out at least. So soon, very soon.
Very soon. Let's see. Here's a kind of an interesting what-if question. If Hasbro isn't doing a good job on Marvel Legends, what other toy company should make them instead?
You said they're not doing a good job on. Right. Who said that?
Oh, sorry, that was Blade Wilson that said that.
No, Hasbro's doing a great job. I don't want to see anybody else do Marvel Legends.
Yeah, you know, let's give it like a what if. Like, what other companies out there could really fucking do Legends?
Nobody.
Certainly not Jack Pacific or any of those.
Nobody.
Literally
An American company, nobody. No,
Yeah.
nobody American.
Certainly not Mattel. Certainly not. Well, obviously not NECA.
You are damn right. Certainly not Mattel.
They go back and give everyone single jointed elbows.
Please, God, no.
Yeah, yeah. Just
I
like
doubt NECA would ever do a fucking Marvel Legends line, even though Block by Block is keen on it. I don't think it'll ever happen. First of all, Randy fucking collects Marvel Legends, so he's probably hoping that Hasbro does well enough himself, you know? So,
yeah, I remember he was saying in an interview he buys like 2 cases of each, one to open and then one to keep in the box.
yeah, Randy's like a real fucking toy collector, dude.
You know
Like,
what? No, we're not going to talk about Randy.
Say that.
Shit. Here we go talk about
he got
Randy.
there naturally, Pharaoh. I didn't even have to force it.
You know what's funny is that most people that are in the industry that work for some toy company, I noticed that the majority of them buy Marvel Legends, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Marvel Legends is pretty popular among other creators of toys and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, it's really one of like the
Yeah.
flagship
And
collector lines for like 15, 16 years now.
Interesting thing about Marvel Legends. I'm sure Boog doesn't know this info, so I'm sure he's gonna be interested to hear. There's a studio out of Japan that makes anime, and they're so that whole staff is so obsessed with Marvel Legends that they have a show based on the Marvel Legends Ghost Rider, the one that came with that big angular bike. It's called Inferno Cop, and dude. These guys are obsessed with Marvel Legends, and anytime me and Emiya bring them Marvel Legends, they're like, they look like they want to cry. They can never believe that we're doing Marvel Legends. They're absolutely obsessed with them. So it is really, you know, like a staple action figure line now is Marvel Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Even all the way in Japan, an entire company bases a show off of a singular figure from the line. You know,
that's hilarious.
You know,
Yeah.
speaking of shows based on Marvel Legends, you guys seen the Marvel superheroes What the?
oh yeah, that's funny. Jesse Falcon.
Yeah, Jesse Falcon's on that. Yeah, I just started watching those recently, and I'm like, whoa, these are pretty good.
Yeah, they've been around for a few years. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, aside from the fact that the animation's like actually pretty well done, like some of the writing can be pretty clever as long as it's not one of those like promotional tie-in episodes where the whole thing is a fucking Pizza Hut commercial.
Yeah, they could be hit or miss though. There have been some awful ones, man.
I'll tell
They
you this.
just did a good one with the Old Spice guy on the Luke Cage Toy Biz body. It's fucking hilarious.
Jesus.
Oh, what's his name? Isaiah Mustafa.
Any episode that has a lot of MODOK in it is usually really funny of theirs.
Oh yeah, I think he's in that. He pops up really quick in that Luke Cage thing.
Yeah, he's like super well known for that series. And if anybody was wondering what company that was in Japan, it's Studio Trigger, the people that made Kill La Kill and
Triggered.
Yeah, lot of popular titles. But back to what Fabio was saying.
Yeah, let's go back to the QR. What else we got? I mean, that's really the answer to that question. Is like, I don't think any other company could really do it besides Hasbro at this point.
We didn't really talk about Mezco though, and their 112 line, which is definitely getting some steam going. They dropped the Shadowland Daredevil this weekend at Comic-Con. I saw Darius review it. I actually picked up one for my neighbor, and the figure looks great, man. It looks really good, but I'm just not delving too deep into the 112 initiative with Mezco. But the figures do look really great, and they look so much better in person than they do in photographs.
Yeah, just like
That should be their fucking tagline right underneath. 112 Collective. They look better than person.
Right.
like Fabio. I'm for the most part, at least for DC, not really so much on the Marvel side. I'm all in for DC 112 Collective.
Yeah.
Some of the Marvel stuff they've done is not really appealed to me all that much. I'm definitely getting their Punisher, their Spider-Man, and their Red Skull, but I wasn't a fan of the look of Captain America. As great as a figure as I was, I held it in my hands. Thanks to Darius, I was able to mess with his at Comic-Con. It is a really nice figure, just not for me personally, and neither was Judge Dredd. But I love what they're doing, and if they continue at this pace, they're going to be getting a lot of my money.
Dude, I'm all in on messing with
pretty much an excellent figure, man. Judge Dredd was one of the better ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Judge Dredd was a nice one too. I'm just not a big fan, and if I were to have Judge Dredd, I would want the motorcycle. I cannot imagine not having both, and that's a lot of money. So
you're talking about spending $50 every single time you find one of those the Dragon Ball Z things.
Oh yeah, but you know,
so don't buy 3 of those, and you got enough for your fucking Lawmaster.
I can't sacrifice that stuff because I just love it more. I don't like just Judge Dredd to that point. That's why hard for me to justify. But it's pretty incredible. I've seen them displayed at a comic book shop locally, and it's really tempting. It looks really nice.
That new blue one that came out that's bundled with the bike is probably your best bet, and I think it actually looks better than the black. I kind of wish I'd held out for that blue one, the dark blue.
Yeah, the dark blue one is I don't like the that sort of aqua, almost kind of aqua blue suit shit.
Yeah, that was the PX.
Yeah, like a 70s stripper blue.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was from Ends of the Earth.
Magic Mike Dredd.
Yeah, Magic Mike Dredd.
Oh, he's got that zipper. You pull that shit down, you got some man cleavage.
What else we got down there?
Let's see. Given that it's Halloween month, what's the scariest movie you've all ever seen?
Hey, you know what? We didn't talk about that. What's that new movie that Keiyo or one of them produced or wrote or some shit? You saw the trailer for that horror flick?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
What's the name of it?
That movie looks crazy.
What is that?
Get Out?
Get Out, yeah.
Get Out.
Get Out?
That shit looked pretty crazy.
I have not seen that. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, you got to look up that trailer.
That movie is gonna be a banger. Tell you that movie's trailer had me hooked.
I'm not like a huge horror fan and shit. You know, it's people like fucking Bob Joyne and like fucking other people that love the horror genre and shit. It's never really been my thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking movie looked pretty fucking interesting. That's the first time in a long time I've been interested in a horror flick, honestly.
You know, Michael Wisman's friend from high school is in that film.
No way. That's pretty dope.
He's that cat.
Pretty good.
He's the cat with the hat that tells that I didn't mean cat with the hat.
What? Michael Wisman is friends with Jim Carrey? Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude,
Mike,
the dude in the hat.
Come on, hook it up, man. Tell him I do improv too.
He's the dude in the hat that tells the dude to get out.
Oh, no way.
The next episode, we gotta all talk like Dr. Seuss the whole episode.
Hey, I wanted to say, I don't know what the scariest movie is, but what I will say is that typically the best scary movies are the ones that aren't explained. Because I think that most people watch scary movies, they look for answers. But in reality, if something scary happens to, like an isolated incident happens to someone, there's typically not going to be an explanation. No one's going to know why this fucking demon or monster, where the fuck it came from. And I don't know how in the fuck you're going to just find out where this damn thing came from. You know what I mean? You're usually going to die. That's the realistic part about it. I mean, the demon comes up, it's going to fucking kill you. You're never going to know where it came from. And more than likely, no one's going to ever find out where the fuck it came from until somebody looks up and is able to kill it. You know what I mean? Like, and I like movies like that. I like very gory movies. And I like the ones that aren't afraid to like go outside the box and like literally kill children and, I don't know, babies maybe.
Just kill children.
I mean, I'm sure you don't listen to anybody that recommends you to watch a Serbian film because I don't think you're gonna.
Don't watch that bullshit.
That's just a terrible flick or a horrible flick.
That movie sucks.
Yep. I mean, those are movies. Like when I watch movies and then it's like it's just so fake when they, oh my God, the monster's killing people, and then they find a way to say like Jeepers Creepers 2. I know everybody's seen that. this chick has a dream that explains what's going on with the creeper. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you guys would have never known what the fuck was going on with it. That's just what it is. Like, period. You just had to fight it the best way you could. If you looked up and killed it, that's what it would have been. Other than that, you'd have been fucked. So, I don't
Going
like
back to the question, one of my favorite movies or favorite horror movies is Rosemary's Baby, which is a weird one because it's not like particularly gory or like, you know, jump scares or any shit like that. But like the fucking premise of it is just so freaky. And by the end, you know, it's about her like basically being the host of the devil's child, like born into the new world. And like she's in this new apartment or whatever. And everybody in the building's like conspiring to get her pregnant with the devil's baby. It's fucking nuts. But at the end, she has the baby, sure enough, but you don't fucking see it. And that's the scariest part of it all, man. Like, you see her reaction looking at the fucking baby, and like, I'm getting fucking goosebumps just thinking about it right now. Like, it's a serious reaction that it's almost better that they don't show the baby.
Man, that shit wasn't fucking scary, man.
You suck, Pharaoh.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Man, that shit was scary, guys. You guys don't.
Oh my god, they didn't show the baby. How horrific! Like,
no, that's not the point. It's like the performance and like, you know, the build up of leading up to the whole, you know, her seeing the baby and like her reaction is just like
this is the same dude that's probably you gonna see at a Dark Shadows convention or something, man.
Damn.
Like, what convention?
You know what I'm saying? He likes horror soap operas.
Oh, fuck yourself. All right, fine. Here's one I actually also really like is The Thing. That one doesn't really need too much explanation. The Thing is just a really fucking well-made movie. Amazing practical effects, prosthetics from fucking Stan Winston. Just amazing. Just a fucking great movie.
Scariest movie I've ever seen is Troll 3.
What? No.
But they're eating her.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
I mean, are we considering the Alien films horror flicks? No, that's more sci-fi.
The first one is probably the most horror one.
The first one was supposed to be a horror film. So.
Yeah.
Man, I know anybody born between 79 and I want to say maybe 88. You guys already know that Nightmare on Elm Street 2 would have had you scared to ride a school bus.
Oh, dude, Nightmare on Elm Street had me creeped out as fuck when I was I used to,
like,
I used to be afraid to go to sleep. Like, oh, man. Man, I'm going to die in my sleep. Somebody like, come here, get it!
Yeah, I guess Nightmare on Elm Street was pretty fucking scary.
That, or Poltergeist.
That's a good one.
Oh, Poltergeist is a classic.
If you was a kid and watched Poltergeist, you'd have been scared as fuck to go to. If you had a Jack in the Box, that thing's coming to fuck about your room quick.
No question. No question. I mean, Exorcist, obviously, I don't know if y'all mentioned that.
That's a scary one for sure.
Anything that deals with like religion and shit like that, that's, you know, on a serious note, there's no, you know, that shit's always been kind of scary. Because
that's what makes Rosemary's Baby scary, you guys.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm going to sell you all on this, I swear.
Rosemary's Baby.
It's a good movie. We got some people shouting out some scary movies. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, It. Those are all good ones.
Man, episode 7 of Goosebumps.
Hey,
The Line of the Living Dummy, that's a fucked up one, dude.
When I was a kid, man, watching
what was it, Fabio?
What's that, Pharaoh?
What did you say was a good one?
The Night of the Living Dummy.
Oh.
That's the Goosebumps episode.
Right.
Are You Afraid of the Dark was scary as fuck when I was a kid.
Yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark is pretty
The Haunted Mask was a good one, too.
Haunted
Now we're just
Mask-
talking about Goosebumps. Fuck this. We're moving on. The Shining, Hellraiser. These are all movies that people are shouting out. It
Oh, The
follows.
Shining.
Nah, Hellraiser wasn't even scary. Hellraiser was just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
when I was a kid, one of my dad's favorite movies was Hellraiser. So I was not afraid of that film at all. And actually, like, when I was growing up as a kid, my dad had like a huge Pinhead figure. I was never afraid of the film personally.
Yeah, I don't think I was either. That wasn't
Strangers was pretty good.
Who's this Yannette Garcia chick?
Never heard of
Who?
it.
Yannette Garcia?
And what are you referring to?
I don't know. I'm looking at a picture in Plastic and Paint. She was at Comic-Con. She's somebody. She's got on a Batman outfit. She looks pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah. She looks good, but I don't know who she is.
Maybe John knows who she is. Moving on. Let's get some more questions before we're out of here.
What about your net, bro?
What about what?
What about your net? We ain't finished on her. Who's this?
I heard It Follows. That's kind of a newer one, isn't it? I heard that was pretty good.
Which one?
It Follows was actually pretty.
Yeah, It Follows is good. I know JC really.
You guys like that? I did not like It Follows.
No?
I think you had to go into it with the right mindset, to be honest.
Where's JC at? JC is like one of the most intelligible horror film people I know. I trust him. When he tells me a horror film is good, I believe it.
You know it was a good one though? The fucking the clown.
It?
It?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, not it. No, not it. The one I think it's called Clown.
Is that the new one with Eli Roth, or directed by Eli Roth?
Yeah, I mean, they're calling it new, but I seen it. I think I want to say I've seen it almost 3 years ago or 2 years ago or something like that.
Eli Roth, yeah, Clown, right?
Clown. That movie, it isn't scary, but it's creepy. It's kind of sad, and at the same time, it's a little creepy. That's always a good element with scary movies, anyway, because you really want to feel like bad for the main character. You know what I mean? Like, especially when they put them in a position to where, like, all of us every day we get up and we do whatever it is we do. So we don't think, you wouldn't think anything like that would happen to us because, of course, it's fake. But I'm just saying, like, that's just fucked up. You're like, damn, I'm going to work every day. I'm doing this and that and the other. And all of a sudden now our body's changing and I'm turning to this damn blood-sucking clown. Like, that's just bad to the point to where the main character can't be around their children anymore. They lost their families, lost. They're being hunted. There's something that they just did not want to be, and it's not by choice at all. And they turn that way by good intentions. All because you wanted to do something nice for your children, you sealed your fate forever as a monster. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
And a movie that's a lot like that, and it's probably like one of the scariest films I've ever seen. You ever heard of this movie? It's called Twilight.
I thought you were gonna say The Fly. I'm like, yeah, body horror. Yeah, I can see that.
It has a vampire who's like at a high school just terrorizing little girls. It's crazy.
No, I mean, like I said, I didn't really want to give away the movie or whatever, man. But that's just crazy. Like,
sounds interesting. I never heard of this movie. I'm interested to see it now.
You know what's funny? When I went to San Diego Comic-Con, they gave me a bunch of free pins related to that movie, so I figured, oh, this must be coming out soon.
I think that's the same movie.
Anybody, I mean, like one quick second. Anybody that doesn't want to really hear what I have to say, I mean, y'all better be listening. All I'm saying is that pretty much this guy gets a clown suit and puts it on for this kid's birthday, but what it really is that it's a fucking skin.
It's a skin.
Yeah, it's not really like a clown suit. They explain they go into this whole explanation about clowns and how we take them for something that they really weren't, or really aren't, and they go into this whole thing about the first clown, the first thing that we consider to be a clown, and it's really a demon. It's a skin, and it's once you put this skin on, you pretty much fuck.
So it's like the haunted mask from Goosebumps.
Full 360 degrees,
it's not a suit. It's literally you put on a demon skin, and this thing attaches to you. And the first thing he did was he pulled the nose off, and I mean he literally pulled the skin off his nose. Man, it was nasty, man. It was just. It gets to the point to where they eat children. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
No jokes aside, what Fabio said is true. From what you're describing, it sounds like a very adult take on the episode of Goosebumps, which is pretty cool.
That's one of the better episodes, in fact.
Oh yeah.
You know, the girl she wants a scary Halloween mask, so she finds this one mask at the fucking Halloween store, and then she goes to return it, and the guy's not there, and like she puts that shit on, and she starts becoming the demon.
And see, that's it's crazy because another thing that's scary that we never touched on, honestly, are like the old Twilight Zone. Like they're eerie, they're not scary.
Fuck, thank you. Yeah, we can finally agree on something, Pharaoh.
Damn.
I was actually also gonna say, I was gonna mention that Ash vs. Evil Dead is some good fun horror on TV, but my favorite fucking horror show right now is American Horror Story. Been following that
No.
since season 2.
Oh God.
It's good, man. I mean,
That's
there's some
Titanic
bomb-ass seasons for sure, but this latest season is pretty cool because they're going with like a documentary style. So it's like the show itself is like the dramatic reenactment of what these actors are like saying to the camera. If that makes sense.
Okay, that's true. I only watched the first episode. I got a bunch of them DVR, but this American Horror Story is like, I don't know. It's detached from what it's supposed to be. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, it's very like stylized, like hyper stylized.
But it's, I mean, even I don't know, the stories are just horrible, man.
Dude, I'll give you that one on Coven and on Freak Show. Coven and Freak Show were fucking weak. But season 1, Murder House. Season 2 was the hospital or the asylum.
The asylum was weak. That was weak.
Asylum was great, dude.
Man, that's a weak concept altogether. Hey, we have this. Back in these days, they were doing experiments on the insane, and oh my God,
You know, it's based in history to a certain extent. The thing that kind of, you know, made it jump the shark, so to speak, is the fucking aliens.
Right, but I mean, still, I don't know, man. I just
honestly, these later seasons have been really good. This one, I think it's called Roanoke or something, and then the one right before, which was Hotel. Hotel was really good.
No, it wasn't. Don't listen to him.
You didn't like Hotel? Come on, man.
No, come on, man. Oh, it's murder night. Let all of the ghosts from all of the fucking famous serial killers are going to just gather in this hotel.
That's a sick premise, dude. Fucking the Zodiac Killer and Richard.
Man, get the fuck out of here. That was so fucking whack.
The what's it called? The 10 Commandments killer thing. Yeah, it's just like a fun like homage to, you know, horror tropes. Basically, that's what the whole show's about.
Yeah, that was.
You got to have your Knight of Spirits, and you got to have your killer continuing his lineage. You got to have, like, these are all, like, you know, classic horror tropes, and that's the whole point of the show. But it's just, you know, puts it in a very stylized lens.
I don't know. Wasn't feeling that at all.
Well, you definitely check out Roanoke because it's been pretty good so far.
Well, like I said, I got them DVR, man. I watched the first episode. It was a little boring as well.
How many music videos Lady Gaga doing it?
None. Like usual.
She's the weakest vampire I've ever seen.
Man.
No, the Countess or whatever.
He's getting all the hate. Hashtag bad romance. Come on, man.
You know, the biggest complaint I have about American Horror Story is, like, all the white dudes look exactly the fucking same.
All the white
dudes
are the exact fucking same. They're the same people in every fucking season.
No, but go back to Freak Show, I think it was, and they had Hotel. They had the guy that runs the hotel. They had you know, the creepy kid with the camera from American Beauty. They had I just had him. Whatever. They had a bunch of fucking just like guys that look the same. Dylan McDermott in season 1. Fucking just a lot. My point stands. Moving on.
Yeah.
See, even Paint Samurai Customs knows that American Horror Story is the shit.
I don't give a fuck about what JD's saying.
I did like him on the Triple C podcast. So, all right, was it him?
All right, man. He the dude, but still, nobody care about that.
Parker Mike is chiming in that Twilight Zone would fuck him up as a kid. That's for sure, man. I remember when I was in like middle school, we did like lessons, you know, like entire what are they called? Like,
I just want to move on, man.
Yeah, you know, Fabio, that was a thing in the state of California because I had the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did like whole
pretty,
units, you know, like lesson units on that stuff.
Yeah,
so we were watching To Serve Man, The Monsters I Do on Maple Street, like all the fucking freakiest ones.
We watched the same one. You know, I'm 24, so I think you're really close to my age. So
I'm 23.
Yeah. So, you know,
Rick, which one was the one that had Greg in it?
Greg?
Yeah, had that big tall ass. Was that To Serve Man? That was To Serve Man when he had the cookbook, right?
Yeah. Cannabis.
Yeah, that dude looked like Greg.
Oh man.
Here's a good sort of final-ish question. Is anybody planning up to dress up for Halloween? Pharaoh, you gonna be Batman or what?
No. I didn't really wear Halloween costumes as a child.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't actually let me wear Halloween costumes as a kid, really, like that. So
I have a terrible, funny story of me in Halloween once. As many people know, I love Michael Jordan and all of his shoes.
Oh
And
God.
when I was a kid, it never registered to me. I was like 6 years old, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna put on this Michael Jordan jersey and paint my face black.
Oh
God.
I never did it because my dad explained to me that was super racist. But as a kid, at first I was like, what is he talking about? How is this racist? I'm Michael.
You gotta get the right kind of shoe polish.
I'm Michael.
Yeah, I never got to do it because my dad said that I would get beat up. He's like, man, that's really fucked up. You can't do that.
It's all about making the lips funny.
Yeah. As a kid, dangerously close to walking around in blackface as Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Bro, haven't you ever seen Othello?
You
That shit is
usually had a
tasty.
black face when they beat your ass, man.
Yeah, man, I tell you, my dad told me, he told me, like, dude, you can't be Michael Jordan. I was like, why? I just paint my face black and I'm Michael, man. And he's like, no, dude. He's like, you're gonna get beat up, and we're gonna get in a lot of trouble. You're out there with a black face. And I was like, as a kid, I was just like, what is he talking about? Like,
Right.
I'm Michael Jordan, bro.
Yo, that's like that. Do you remember Tosh.0 had that one redemption for that kid that dressed up like Martin Luther King and did a presentation, but he did blackface and everything?
Yeah.
Rick, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You should be that kid from Grand Theft Auto 5. What's his name? Jimmy?
Yeah.
You sound just like Jimmy, man.
Yeah.
Call me Jizzle. Oh God.
I do like whenever I go to cons, I cosplay. So I usually just do cosplay. I do Ozaru Vegeta, like the monkey form of Vegeta. But walking around downtown Charleston like that is a fucking nightmare because people. I mean, it's full of like dumbass college kids who know what the fuck I am. Last year, I got called the White Power Ranger. I got called a Michelin Man. I got called a crash test dummy. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hey,
Just went farther and farther.
What I usually cosplay as, because of course my body and size, I usually do the penguin. And some people are like, "Hey man, you're the peanut man without the peanut."
Yeah, so peanut man without the peanut.
there you have it. Well, the Halloween parade in New York City is pretty fucking big. So even if you don't want to dress up, if you want to go out and have a pretty fucking good time looking at some really crazy costumes and shit, it is a pretty good time to go down and do that shit. I've probably only done it like maybe 2 years ever, but they even show that shit on TV too. So it's pretty big here.
That's how Charleston
I'll probably dress up. I just don't know as what yet, and time is very much ticking down on that front. So it'll probably just end up being like I have this like rocker blonde wig, and I'll just put on a Metallica t-shirt and my Guitar Hero controller, and I'll be James Hetfield. I've done Darth Lumberg in the past, which is like the boss from Office Space with a Darth Vader costume.
God.
I've done shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you can join me on the dark side, that would be.
It was more like I actually got to the front page of Reddit when I posted that picture of me, but it was like, yeah, if you could just hand over those Death Star plans, that'd be great. Yeah, I don't know what I'll dress up as. My girlfriend, wants us to do something together, so we'll see. Final question from Brian Carter, because he's asked it a couple times, and sorry, but yeah. Did you guys read Champions #1 and Jessica Jones #1?
No,
but I heard Champions. I heard Champions is really good. I'm interested.
I heard Jessica Jones was really good.
Boom! That's two goods from us that we heard.
A new monthly Jessica Jones Marvel comic book drop. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Well, that was the short answer. Sorry, man. I guess none of us really read it, Brian.
Does she now all of a sudden look like Kristen Ritter in the comic books?
I did see a screen cap of that. Yeah, they did change her to look like Kristen Ritter.
God.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
I mean, think about it. I mean, it's either you're going to try to cast somebody to look like the character in the comic, or you just change the character in the comic to look like the person you cast.
I hate when they fucking do that shit.
And you realize the material, the actual television material is like nowadays is trumping the comic book shit.
Yeah, of course, but still.
Like, I mean, just it would make sense. I wouldn't have. I mean, it's like if you were a character in a book, man, and you were like 6'8" and tall and lanky, and then they say this is the real Boog, nice, and you come, you got a big head or something, they're gonna make it look like that. Not saying you do. No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying, but that's the way. I mean, they're just gonna go with the actual screen material.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that for years as far as the
fucking Starlord looks just like Chris Pratt now.
right.
Makes
So,
sense.
Well, Brian Carter says they're both really good, so you guys should check those out.
What
And-
holiday is tomorrow? You guys were saying there's a holiday tomorrow?
It's Columbus Day.
That's not a fucking holiday.
Why?
No,
Why?
sure ain't.
People.
That's really like, are kids getting off school for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No fucking way. I didn't get.
Yeah,
Dude,
when
I
we
got in trouble when I was a kid 'cause I took a Monday off of school because I'm like, oh, it's Columbus Day, and the fucking school called my house and we're like, hey, your son isn't in school today or whatever. And I was with my grandma, so my grandma had to fucking drive me to school.
There's no fucking school tomorrow. You think America would stop the fucking bullshit already?
Yeah, for real.
Dude, like Fabio said, over here in California, they stopped doing Columbus Day when I was a kid, and we were all pissed. Yeah,
Well, I was living in Florida at the time, actually.
Oh yeah, well they stopped doing that here when we were a kid, and we were
I
pissed.
mean, really, it's an insult to
To the Native Americans. Fuck
Native
yeah.
Americans. Yeah, like
Columbus. Yeah,
fucking
and around the time they started doing that same thing too. Like you can't be calling them Indians. It was all around the same time, and that was also, and that same year they got rid of every individual president's birthday, giving you a day off, and made President's Day. It was just the worst day to be a kid. It was like the 4th grade. We were all pissed. What do you mean I don't have fucking George Washington's birthday off, man?
I actually do remember that. It wasn't all the presidents. You're kind of hyperbolizing there, but it was George Washington and it was Abraham Lincoln. And then all of a sudden, fucking President's Day. What's up with that?
Man.
And
And Brian Carter is just clarifying. She looks like normal Jessica Jones in her book, but she looks Kristen Ritter in Miles Morales' book.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Do you want to take any more questions?
I guess we could take one more.
What's the one, and this is the last question from Sarone Games Go. What's the one action figure character you must collect every version of?
For me,
Batman.
Spider-Man all the time.
Yeah. Spider-Man and Batman would be the go-tos. I like Batman for sure. I'm trying to make a bunch of different variants of Michael Keaton Batman right now.
Who was telling me about this? Oh, I think it was my man Diego this weekend. I did pass up on that Bandai Samurai Spider-Man shit. And my man Diego was telling me that it was actually a really, really nice figure or whatever. But I'm good on fucking Samurai Spider-Man. I can't.
I saw that at AWA as well. I like the way when I saw him like in pictures, I thought he looked sad. He looked upset. Like his eyes he just looks upset.
Down
But
on
like-
his luck, Samurai Spider-Man.
Why would you sculpt him that way? Maybe I understand, but like he doesn't look fun to pose. But like I mean, I saw him in person and like I was like, this doesn't look half bad. But the pictures, he looks just sad.
You know what he was telling me too? He was like, yo, you know what? The accessories and shit that he comes with, you could use for so many other figures and shit.
Oh
too.
yeah.
They have an Iron Man coming out soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna keep getting more and more people in that style. For me, I think the only real character that at least currently that I always buy what they make for it is just Guts from Berserk. Like
Okay.
I have the $400 statue. I have all of the 1/6 versions of Guts. I have 3 of the same version of the Figma Guts. Like I fucking buy everything Guts.
You know what? I really do like the fucking design of the who's that put out Guts? Figma? Figma,
Yeah,
right?
they
Yeah.
Figma Guts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do like it, but I never watched the anime. And
I'll tell you this: if you watch the anime Boog, you love it. They're on Plex, I think. They're awesome.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out because I'd just be like some fake fanboy if I went and got the figures in there.
Man, this
You know what?
shit is gory as fuck. God damn Berserk,
The
man.
one character that no one's saying is Iron Man, and I'm pretty sure that most of us who collect figure arts have pretty much bought almost every Iron Man.
That is true.
Yeah, that's a good point because a lot of people want to do like the
Every Iron Man.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of Iron Man. That's for damn sure. I have every Legends one. I have every Legends one.
I could be wrong, but I think there was a 3D printing company that was putting out kind of based on the Diamond Select sort of Hall of Armor, thing. But they made them, they 3D print them so they could actually like attach together and everything, and you could even put in lights.
I saw
I'll
that
have to
one as
look
well.
who did that, but they're perfect for Marvel Legends and SH Arts if you have like a Hall of Armor. I think my answer to this question is probably Predator, because thinking of like which character I have the most versions of, it's probably Predator, and I'm really happy about it because I love having like all these different fucking Predator clans. So I got like the Kenner clan, the fucking Lost Tribe, the AVP clan. All the I just like how they all look together. Like yeah, they're fucking for all intents and purposes just repaints, but the uniformity of them, like when you have them in a group, is just really fucking nice. Like you look at my D12 cubes and you can see like, whoa, yeah. They're different enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, basically NECA.
Yeah, I had to throw it in there one more time, but I did forget to say it. So yeah, that's
what
NECA.
you reminded me of when you just said that is the alien dude. We need him. We need a meme of him just saying NECA and shit.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We got to Photoshop Fabio's face onto that dude and make a meme out of that.
Yeah, but use a good picture, damn it. Keep his hair on my head.
We'll have Fabio's face on there. We'll have it saying NECA. We'll have a picture of a moon on the wall, and the man in the moon will be fucking Randy.
That's funny.
All right, well, let's close it out on that note. I'll take the final hit. I'll take the team to close out the show.
All right, so yeah, until next week. We'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all got some plugs. I know everybody's still waiting fucking X-Men Wave. I'm still waiting too, man. I don't know what's happening, but this week the Fury cases are coming in. So if you order one of those, they'll be shipping out this week. And if you didn't order one, there may be a couple of extra cases. And when I say Fury, I'm talking about the Marvel Legends Fury / Shield Agent figure. We had cases of 8 of those that we sold as pre-orders, and we should have some extra too. So if you're looking to army build some Shield agents, that'll be popping up this week. We did get a couple of extra cases of the Space Venom Build-A-Figure wave. So if you missed out on that, there may be an opportunity for that. We got some cases of the DC Multiverse Lex Luthor, which a lot of people are trying to army build for to make prisoners, basically.
Yeah, I actually just found one at Trio and I stashed him.
So that'll be in this week as well. Like I've mentioned earlier in the show, the Insane Mercenary cutout pack is up now. Tendrils in red and black are still up. And hopefully, like I said, I'm just waiting for word of the X-Men wave whenever that's going to come. But you are on my channel right now, so I'm putting the finishing touches on the next episode of Main Course. I'm thinking that I'll drop it maybe Saturday, I guess. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Boog BOOG _A.C.B.A. and follow the regular A.C.B.A. Instagram account as well, which is at Articulated Comic Book Art. And I guess that's it for me.
Oh, Pharaoh just dipped out. He didn't even want to say bye. Literally just dipped out.
I forgot to mention too. Shout out to the Madness 1984, who I saw at New York Comic Con. He was rocking the Rest in Peace Glenn shirt. That picture was posted on the A.C.B.A. Instagram. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick while somebody else talks about their plugs. But shout out to him, and once again, rest in power to Glenn. I didn't get a chance to meet Glenn's partner, who was at New York Comic Con making the rounds, and for in memory of Glenn, because this was a trip that Glenn was planning to come out to New York and meet up with everybody. I didn't get to meet up with his partner, but Shartimus did, and I did chop it up with Shartimus on Friday night. We went to dinner, a bunch of us, and we talked about Glenn and his partner, and him talking to him, and it was pretty interesting and cool. So yeah, man, rest in power to Glenn, And
Pour on the power.
and that's it for that. Let me see if I can bring a picture of this shirt. And
While you're at it, they call me Colonel Crackers on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, and Steam. You can also listen to me on the Raw Live and Unedited Podcasting Network. Stay tuned this Wednesday because we're having our What's Worth Watching full spoiler discussion of Luke Cage. So if you wanted to hear a little bit more discussion than we did maybe on this episode, listen for that on Wednesday, and it should be pretty in-depth. There's also another it's a whole family of great shows, whether you like Game of Thrones or Walking Dead or video games or fucking anything. Raw Live and Unedited at rawlivepod.com. And there's the picture. Pancho, why don't you tell him? Someone had a question for you earlier about Posing Ain't Easy. So if you could plug that.
Okay.
What was that vlog you put up? I didn't watch it yet. That was just you talking about the storm.
Yeah, I did a whole bunch of I shot a whole bunch of footage of the hurricane just for fun, just to pass time, and I put that into a little 4-minute vlog talking about the hurricane, what we did during the weekend and stuff like that, and it has a couple of shots of the damage if you're into that.
That shot of you hard styling next to the tree is my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, that's something to remember.
Hey man, that guy's allowed back at the Magic the Gathering tournament, so good.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's the buck crack guy. He's allowed back already. It's fantastic.
That's
beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah,
If your fetish is natural disasters and you want to see your peanut butter on your plate, back off to hurricanes, then
yeah, the video's for you. but yeah,
lots of sexy commentary from Pancho to get you there.
I know, right? But yeah, all my stuff online is Pancheezy, Pancheezeey. I did my latest thing was that hurricane thing. It's just a vlog, just a random vlog. But I'm also going to be putting out 3 or 4 different videos covering AWA. I'm just going to do an overview video, then talking about the vibe of the con, and then a whole video dedicated to what the dealer's room was like. I'm going to try and do some sort of spin on a true run or some type of video like that, because I got a whole bunch of footage of the dealer's room and a bunch of cool figures that were there. So look out for that. And that's basically it. Yeah, I am working on Posing Ain't Easy. I do streams on my Facebook page. So if you're friends with me on Facebook, I'll do every once in a while, I'll do an editing stream of me just editing small segments of Posing Ain't Easy. So I'll do I'll edit maybe a 5 to 10 minute short clip of a scene I set up, and then that's what I'm doing right now in terms of Posing Ain't Easy. I'm just editing small sections of it so I don't have to tackle the entire thing at once, and it just seems easier. So so that's pretty much it. So
I've been watching your Dragon Ball Z recaps. I actually been trying not to watch the past couple because I went back and started catching up on the Dragon Ball Super episodes. So I think I'm on episode 53 or something like that right now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, man, I've been enjoying that actually.
Oh, I love doing those. I was originally opposed to doing episode recaps and stuff like that, but the recap is not even half of what I talk about in those videos. I like to go into what really happens on a character level of what happens in that episode and talk about why it makes sense or why it doesn't make sense. So that's what the majority of those videos are about. In the last video, I touch on how present Trunks, Kid Trunks and future Trunks, are, even though they're the same person technically, they're character-wise and character development-wise, they're two very different people, because one was raised by Vegeta and one wasn't raised by Vegeta, and I talk about the dynamic of that. So if you're into that kind of shit, definitely check out those reviews. If you're into more than just the surface level of, yo, did you see how hard he fucking hit that guy in terms of episode recaps, definitely check that out.
And I forgot to mention, Colonel Crackers is spelled with K's. I won't spell the rest of it out, because if you can't spell Colonel Crackers, I don't think I want you as a follower.
Oh man.
Basically, Fabio wants to eliminate the illiterates.
Honestly, it's a pretty good buffer zone. All right, on that note.
All right, we out of here. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna shoot a review for this Raphael figure and maybe shoot it in 11 minutes and put it out there. We'll see what happens. I'm feeling like I'm in review mode, so I might review a few of these figures that I got this weekend. So look out for that on my channel. And until next week, peace.
Peace.
See ya.